Welcome to the VLenore Show. Here, we will discuss lifestyle, beauty, celebrity gossip, and current events in our own way, my way, the style. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, hello, lovers. How are y'all on today? It is Sunday, baby. I am sorry. I'm late. I get it. Baby, I hope y'all had a great weekend because I have. I worked my ass off, but I had a great weekend at the same time. How about you? You know what? I had such a great weekend. I worked hard, right? And had such a great weekend still. And I was up all night over there at Legacy Moons last night. Okay. And we didn't get off of there till about 2 a.m. or 1:30, or it felt like 2, well, it's probably after 2 by the time I went to sleep. So anywho, and I still got up at a decent in comparison. I'm just saying. How y'all doing though? How are y'all doing? I was blessed this week, y'all. I was blessed. There's so many great things I think that are in store, not only for me, but for us. Okay. I was just talking to a couple of my friends who are moderators, and I said, baby, it's about to turn up. Okay. I just feel like it's about to turn up, and it's time for me to turn it up, damn it. And we're going to do that. Okay, we are about to do that. I had such a great weekend. How y'all doing? Let me see who's in here. Hi, D-Dub. D-Dub was first in the house. How are you, honey? I hope y'all hit the like button. Okay, let's turn it up. Damn it. Hit the freaking like button. Hi, Jackson Tabasco. Hi, Know Your Own Worth, honey. How are you? Hi, Black But Not Bitter. Hey, Legacy Moon. I didn't even see that you were in here. Honey, we was over there cutting up at Legacy Moons until damn near 2 a.m. Okay? I should have been tired to death. I should have been knocked out dead. Nope, I wasn't. But we had a good time over there. Hey, Sassy Sue. Hey, Lexi the Law Nerd. Hey, T, gon' say it if it has to be said. How you doing? Hey, Ken VC. Only me 23. Hi, Miss Lorraine. Hi, my name is Dog Girl. Hey, Dimple Swimples 504. Hi, Blue Bear. Hey, Minding Business. Leo Lady is here. Cynthia Carter is here. Who else is in here? Huh? Who else? Patty Patty's here. Yeah, and Danielle is here. And Your Seniors Need Love Too is here. The cynical one is here. Don't be cynical. I've always been a little cynical at times. Well, I shouldn't say always. When you've been hurt and disappointed, child, in life in general, you start to get cynical. I understand where that comes from. So, but this weekend, I ain't cynical, damn it. I am not. How are you, the cynical one? Hey, Life Unleashed. How are you? Who else is here? Shirley's divorce, finally, damn it. Oh, T gonna say it if it has to be said. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. She done gifted 5 doggone memberships, people. Hold on, let me pull it up. And let me say this. Tomorrow, we will definitely have a members only live. I want to tell you all about my week. I want to tell you all about my day, in particular yesterday. And yeah. I'll show you a few pictures, that kind of thing, okay? So yeah, we'll definitely have a members only live for that tomorrow. But hold on, let me pull up our current live. Members only live for Oh, that's me. You hear me talking to me? You hear me talking to y'all? Huh? Let's see who got him. Who got him? The cynical one. Okay, the cynical one got. Now this is weird. That's the only one. Oh, okay, it's one membership. I'm sorry. Wait, there's 5. No. That only me 23 gave one to. Thank you, only me 23. Hold on, let me get back up here. T gonna say that has to be said. Gifted her memberships to Beauty is her name. Pen Pal 50. No. Pen Pal 50 is already a member. Okay. I'm a little too excited. Not paying attention. Jacqueline J. V the One. Chi-Town CPA. And I'm free to be me. Have all been gifted memberships from the one and only T gonna say it if it has to be said. Yeah. And then thank you so much, T. And then only me 23 gifted a membership, and that one went to the cynical one. Yes. Okay. So anyway, hi everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like button. Thank you. That will grow it. That'll let people know that we're live. I don't know how many people did or did not get the notification. So if you hit the like button, that will get the word out. Okay. It doesn't help when I don't go live consistently. So yeah, the number is looking low. And I think that has a lot to do with this. So please hit the like button. Thank you. Okay. Let's see who else is here. Who came in? My Belle, how are you? You are here. Beverly Palmer is here. Southside Chi-Town is here. Who else? Penny Proud is here. Shay B is here. Who else, y'all? Let me get down here. 504 is here. Who else? Danielle. Oh, Danielle spoke to you already, right? Hi, April B. How are you? Yeah, know your own worth. I said hi to her. T gonna say it if it has to be said. Wish I could do more. Love you, V. I love you back, and you do. Look, I'm grateful for everyone. I am grateful for your presence. Okay. So thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you and I love you back. Please know that. Let's see. Sassy Experience. How are you? All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys have probably seen this already, but I want to watch it with you. I've seen it. And it's really a part 1 interview that was done over at the Lionel B Show. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Lionel B. If not, please subscribe. I have, and I have been for quite some time. But I also am linking his video in the description of this video. So if you all like to watch things, without a reaction, feel free. So anyway, I had already planned to do this like earlier this week. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a reaction to this with the family, right? And then today a part 2 came out. So I was like, oh, sucky. So I watched the part 2 and I was like, okay, let's just go back and do the part 1. I also want to do a reaction to Jaguar Wright, not tonight, but Jaguar Wright and Courtney Burgess, because they met up again for part 2. It looked like it was a little more civil this time. I have not watched it. I did speed through it. The damn video is 3 hours and damn near 4 hours long. I don't plan to review the entire video because it looks like Jaguar and Courtney, they're not on that particular one for the entire video. So it's like it looks like she, because I scrolled through it just to try to get a feel what's going on here. So I scrolled through it. It looks like Jaguar left around, I don't know, a quarter, maybe a third of the way in. Courtney Burgess, left at some point too. And then the lady that was Pow Pow by Diddy, back in the 90s, who I have to follow up again. It's not on her, it's on me. I told y'all I had this huge event this week, right? So we had been planning for it for probably 6 months. Well, no, yeah, yeah. I have been with the team since May. So I would say since May, they start planning for it, really gearing up for it, I should say. But in the last month, we were meeting like weekly, and sometimes, a couple, 2, 3 days a week, trying to get ready for this big event. So because of that, I did not have a chance to really go live as much as I wanted to. And definitely, it just didn't seem fair to try to schedule something with her because I never knew when I was going to be free to go live anyway, with everything coming up. So I got to call her. But anyway, she's on that interview as well. I have not heard everything that was said because I really didn't hear anything that was said. But we are going to watch as much of that as, makes sense. Not today, but in the days coming. Okay. Now, let me see here. Hold on one second. I got to pull up the right video. The right video. VIJOE. Video. Okay. That's what I need to do. It's not there. Wait, why am I not? Oh, because I'm looking at lives. It's not a live. It is right here. Okay. Uh-oh. Y'all probably heard that. Okay. So let me pull it up. Who else is in here? Uh-oh. Let me see. I see some more folks that came in. Let me say hi. Who? Louisiana Whips. Teeth First is here. Who else? Did I miss anybody else? Diva Law came in. Susie 24 came in. Yes. So we're going to get into Myretta came in. Hey, Myretta. V the One came in. Yes. Okay. So we'll get into it. All right. Did y'all hit the damn like button? Don't make look. Yesterday I was shouting for the Lord. I was shouting for the Lord. I shouted for the Lord a couple days straight because, baby, there was a lot of great, beautiful things going on. Okay. Now, don't get it twisted. The Lord knows my heart. He's known me all of my life. Yes, he has. And he also knows that I'm not a hateful person at all, but I will cuss a motherfucker out if necessary. Now, he knew that before y'all knew it. He did. He knew it before I do it. Okay? So don't get it fucked up. All right? I'm just saying. Did you hit the motherfucking like button is the question. That's all I'm asking. Okay? All right. Thank you. It's Sunday, so I'm not going to cuss as much. Okay? I'm just saying. So, let me see something here. Just want to look at something real quick. Yep, got it. Okay, there we go. All right, so the video we are going to watch is from the Lionel B Show, and you guys may have seen this lady talking. The first time I saw her was on Tasha K. Now, I can't remember if, and I didn't even go back to check. I don't know if it was on the main channel because I had have a subscription to Tasha K's website, right? Yeah. So she interviewed this lady. That was the first time I heard of her. Now, when we saw her that day, she seemed like she was high on something. Now, I watched the second part of the interview she did with Lionel B today. And on there, she specifically says that she doesn't do anything but weed and maybe some champagne and wine. However, she feels that she has a chemical imbalance. And that's why it only takes a little of something that can make her kind of loopy or what have you. My word, not hers. But she just said, it impacts her differently. So she does appear to be high or whatever, on the one that you see her over there at Tosh K. And she definitely was drinking wine over there. I do remember that. And I'll be honest, when I first heard her, I just felt like I didn't know what to believe, because it seemed as if she might be one of those people that was seeking attention. That's what I thought. I'm not going to lie, that I thought that. From my understanding, she had representation at the time. And after that incident, or after that interview, she lost representation. An attorney, I don't know who that attorney was. I don't know if Adria, not Adria, Ariel, I don't know if that was her attorney or not, but nevertheless, she lost her attorney. And right now, I don't think she is represented right now. And I think she's seeking representation, but she claims to have been a sex worker for Diddy. Yeah, I accidentally said that. I won't say that again. Okay. So now she's doing some interviews at different places. And Lionel B is just one of the places. I've seen her at 2 or 3 different places in the last couple of weeks. And she is really just trying to get her story out. And, some things, I don't know if she's, setting us up for cliffhangers. I don't know. Now, here's the other thing. I did try to reach out to her as well. You know me. I'm going to ask a nigga for an interview. Okay. I'm always going to ask you for an interview. And I did reach out to her. I had reached out to her on one of her social media sites, and then she accepted. She had to accept me, right? But when I went to send a message, it looks like she doesn't accept messages at all, because the message is undeliverable. The way she has it blocked, I didn't even know you could block it like that. So I got to look into that my damn self. But anyway, she didn't get my message. So I tried another route. Hopefully she'll see my request. Don't know if it'll pay off. It may or may not. We're a teeny tiny little channel right now. We're trying to grow, and you motherfuckers don't like to hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't hit the like button, they ain't gonna come. Okay, so we gotta do better. We gotta do better on this. All right. So, anywho, she went over to the Lionel B Show earlier this week, and she talked to him for about 40 minutes and then returned with more details. She dropped some things, and you can decide what you believe or not. There are a couple of things she is smart enough to say to get your attention, and then keep your attention without telling you anymore, and then come back and she's, going to share more later, right? And we'll talk about what those things are that I'm sort of referring to. But yeah, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna pay attention. Let's see what she's saying. Let's see how y'all feel about what she's saying. And yeah, we'll go from there. Oh, you know what? I should have hold on, let me see. I meant to change, because I want to change a little look here. I didn't do it though. Let me see. Can I change? I kind of wanted to change the. Can I do that now? Let's see. I'll just do it next time. I wish I had set up, because StreamYard has a new feature. As you probably noticed, several of the content creators are changing what the view looks like, and how the video shows up when they're sharing, and what their avatar looks like, or what, how they appear on the screen. And I meant to try and play with that before we went live, but I forgot. Okay. I forgot. Don't judge me. Okay. I've been busy. All right. Hold on one second, y'all. I don't know why this is giving me a problem. Oh, Lord. Okay, I can do it this way. All right, y'all. So I'm not going to share the screen full size. We are. I might. There's a couple times they show pictures, so I might do that. Freeze it so that we can take a look at the pictures, so you know who she's talking about. Let's see. I'm gonna turn the subtitles on just so we don't miss anything. And okay, we'll do that. And then hold on one second. I want to do the playback speed. I just want to make it a little bit faster. That way, depending upon how fast we get through the first part, we might be able to squeeze through the second part, because the second part is 20 minutes. Okay. It's not a long second part, but she ends that pretty much saying she coming back for a third part. You see what I'm saying? So, anywho, let's get into it, shall we? Yes, let's. All right.
Someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes, and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a track on me, including certain people that are presidential.
Now, peeps, I sat down today for a super exclusive interview with one of Diddy's accusers, Adria English. She's been in the media a lot lately with serious allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of despicable and horrendous acts. The disgraced mogul is currently in custody, housed at Brooklyn, MDC, one of the most notorious prisons in the U.S. that was also the home of Epstein, where he was mysteriously taken out. Now,
I'm sorry. Let me say this. For quite some time, we know that people have been hinting, and I just want to put this out here. They've been hinting that Barack Obama, was at a party, right? They've even hinted that Clinton was at a party. I don't believe that shit at all, and nor does she say that. But she does make it clear. You got to think about this. Before Donald Trump was president, you know how he was rocking, okay? And I don't know that he quit. And if he did, it's because that thing don't get up no more. That's just my opinion. I don't choose to find out. I'll never find out. It's allegedly, but this mother sucker is damn near 80, okay? And no longer is he orange. He's looking like, I don't know, shit. He damn near looks green to me, okay? He's just yucky. Anywho, we know how he got down. We know how he used to party. And we know that he and Diddy have and had at least a relationship. So she's definitely talking about him. And that's sort of made clear in the part 2. Okay. Lionel B even attempts to ask her if Barack Obama was one of them. She doesn't answer it. She goes around it. She makes you think. Basically, no. The answer is no, if you're paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I said she's smart enough to keep you wanting to hear more from her. But she knew how to answer it and how to get around it, no matter how weird, she may appear to be acting, in the opinion of some. She's smart enough to know, better. But at the end of the day, she's definitely talking about 45. Absolutely, she is. And that is pretty clear by the things she says. And she also mentions royalty. She also, so when she says multiple presidential type people, doesn't mean presidents of the United States. It means a president here for sure. And she also mentions leaders in Dubai, leaders, probably the royal family. We know one freaky deek over there that's a part of the royal family right now, that Andrew's nasty arse. We know about him. So it could be him. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I just want to make that clear. Don't let these people play in your face. Barack Obama was not at these motherfucking parties, and nor was any other president, sitting president or former president. It's someone who, before they were president, that was supposedly doing whatever. Now, here's the thing about it. People have been talking about whether or not Trump is going to pardon Diddy. I will say, at first I said straight up and down no, because he don't give a damn about Diddy going down. And he's still, I'm leaning more towards a no than anything. I really am. But if he does, it's because he knows he's on those tapes. Now, the one way I think he could get around pardoning him and leaving him in there to rot is because the FBI is, investigating this. The FBI is a part of the government, and this dictator that y'all put into the office, not the people in this chat, of course. I mean, them people out there. The one that they put back in office, you know how he likes to force his hand with people. So he might try to get somebody to confiscate that stuff and make it disappear. You know what I'm saying? Where he's concerned. So, but a lady 747, what price? Diddy ain't got no money. Diddy is about to be brokered and broke. Even if, let's say he walked out of that cell today, he has a huge, let's say he walks out today. Which 9 times out of 10, if Donald Trump is to pardon him, it would be after a trial. I don't think he would do it before trial. Okay, that's the first thing. And if he did it after a trial, he's going to have legal expenses that are going to come out the wazoo. You know, Cardi B's legal expenses to fight Tasha K were 1.8 million. How much do you think Diddy's are? Considering all of the charges, the FBI, he's under a RICO, more charges are coming. It's a whole thing, they can't even sell his damn house. They trying to sell the house. They can't even sell that shit. I mean, this man, and think about all the lawsuits. It's just too much. So I just feel like nobody is going to be looking for money from Diddy, period. If anything, Diddy will be lucky to live inside the jail, and if he's pardoned. It is very, very likely this man wouldn't live very long if he was let out of prison anyway. I do not see that happening. But so I say all that to say, I think it's a very slim chance at all, if any, if this guy gets pardoned. So anywho, all right, so let's get into it. Let's listen.
This is an interview that you don't want to miss. She revealed the dark secrets of working for Diddy, the feds telling her she was found on tapes with famous politicians, Diddy having threesomes with his mom, and more. Be prepared to be floored, and make sure you watch this whole entire.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that? She says Diddy had threesomes with his mama. Now, she also says something about this woman may not be his mama. Now, I don't know how she could know that. But even if that is true, the scenario she puts out there is still nasty as fuck. Okay? It's still nasty. We'll talk about why it's still nasty. Okay? Being his mama would be the ultimate 100% nasty. Okay? But if she's not his mama, who she says she is to him, would make it 95% nasty. See what I'm saying? It's still damn nasty. It's not the full 100% nasty that it would be if it's the mama, but it's still 90 to 95% nasty based upon who she says this woman could be or allegedly is to him. All right. Now in part 2, she says some very creepy things about Janice Combs, but we're going to get into it. If we get through this one fast enough, which we might be able to, we can skip over to the other one. Okay. Only if you hit the like button though. That's it. That's all. All right. And thank you. Okay. Let's get it.
Video. how did you initially come in contact with Diddy?
Okay, it's a cute story. I'm from California. Prior, I had never been on the East Coast in my entire life. I had never been to Florida. I had never been to New York, nowhere on the East Coast. And a guy I was dating, Anthony Gallo, he's from Cali. We were both from Cali. He got an opportunity. He got scouted by a guy in LA who was a reputable scouting agent. It was initially Wilhelmina models. And so they gave him the opportunity to come to New York for an audition. When he went out there, he ended up getting a lot of callbacks, but he was back in LA. And they said, well, you're getting all these callbacks, but if you're going to model for real, we need you out here. So he had never been on the East Coast either. So he was like, and at this time, my family had found out that I had did adult movies. Now, mind you, I had an ex-boyfriend, Jake Steed. He was my boyfriend at first. And he manipulated me into the adult film industry. I only did 8 movies in a 6-month period of my life in the year 1999, but those 8 movies in 6 months follow me to this day. And I signed a residual contract, and Jake Steve been collecting all the money. He done put me on Pornhub. I'm everywhere. And they said he hiding out in South America. He been collecting my money the last 20-some years. I'm the one that gave Ray J and Kim Kardashian to connect. If you look at the production team, you can see we have the same production team. You see mine was
Y'all, I'm over here. I made me my little slushy. Who was that was in here? Was it Texas Toy the other day who said I need one of them some kind of ice machine, some kind of slushy machine or whatever? Anywho, so I keep putting y'all on mute because I'm over here sucking down and chomping at this ice in my cup. But anyway, did y'all catch that? She's saying, because on Tasha K, I do recall her saying that she was an ex-porn star, whatever. But she had done the P thing only for a short period of time, but that those videos still exist. She says she gave them the connect. Now, I don't know how true that is, but that is interesting tea. That is interesting tea. And I don't know. I'm beginning to believe her more and more, honestly. Like I said, I thought some of the stuff she said was questionable on Tasha K at the time, but now I'm beginning to believe more and more about her, okay, or about what she says. Make it rain. Thank you so much, love, for the super chat. I'm giving now. I've been up since 5 a.m. I will be crashing soon. Okay, babe. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. I really, really do. And you are welcome to the replay, baby. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. So anywho, y'all, isn't that interesting? So let's listen.
First, me, Ray J, Brandy, we all grew up in the same church, Church of Christ. Brother Norwood, their father is my vocal coach. So that's how we already knew each other. But they got famous with theirs because Kim Kardashian had a little bigger of a name because of her dad. So when Anthony got scouted, we ended up, my family had found some member of our church, my church from 9 years old had found out I did adult movies. They brought it to the minister who brought it to my parents. And when I came home from work, I was working as a telemetry technician in the critical care unit at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach. And when I came home from my shift, my parents had it on the big screen. Me with an it in my mouth.
No. Your parents had that on there?
The valedictorian, literally.
Can y'all imagine? My God, today. Woo, Jesus. Can y'all imagine? My God. That's why I'm going to tell you something. Now, of course, I have made mistakes. I have done things I am ashamed of. Really, I am. But what has kept me typically on the straight and narrow, was the idea that my parents, that my pastor, and that my future children, because I'm talking, as a younger person, how they might, how would that kind of shit follow you? Even, you know what I'm saying? Things that could be recorded like that, things that could be brought up at any time. Even to this day, I will be mindful of what I say on social media. I might say something more today than I would even 10 years ago or 20 years ago. 1, because I'm older. 2, because both my parents are deceased. Okay. and 3 because my son is older. So some things I might do now that I wouldn't do then, but my God, like I can't imagine. I can't imagine having done something that could be brought up at any time and you never be able to live it down, even once you could have changed your life or what have you. I'm just saying. Hey, the real VB. So, anywho, okay, let's listen.
Sheltered one from the suburbs who had never even had sex before in their knowledge. The innocent one, their love child on the big screen with it. So when I shame my family like that,
What was that like walking into there and seeing that on the screen?
it was the worst day of my life. I still feel the memory, and it haunts me the same way Diddy haunts me to this day. I can still remember the way I felt, how my parents looked at me, and then so when Anthony got the opportunity to move to New York, I was like, man, hell yeah, because I did the movies in '99, but they didn't find out until 2004. And I was
See, this is why I'm over here. That's why I had you on mute. You hear me over here slurping? It's good. Okay. All right. It's good. Okay. Whew. Wait, what'd you say? A lady 747. I think people don't respect their parents like we did, V. I wouldn't say, well, I mean, you're right. I mean, people have definitely, this is a whole new breed of people. That's for damn sure. But this lady ain't young. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's in our age group. If she's out kicking it with Diddy and Ray J and Brandy are younger than me. But at this point, we're all kind of like they're in their 40s. You know what I'm saying? They're in their 40s, mid 40s probably. And so she's at least in that age group. So I don't know, y'all. I'm just saying. Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame says exactly V. I am a PK and oh, you're a preacher kid? And that shoot, I hate when I don't. Okay. And that kind of grounded me. I also considered how I would attempt to explain things to my children and church family. Exactly. And I was very, very, very active in church, like all my life. And so, so it's not just your parents. It's not just your pastor. It's not even just your kids. It's all the people that have been like an extended family of yours who have seen you as, in one light, now seeing you in this type of light like that. Oh, Jesus. But then again, that weighed heavily in my mind. But at the same time, it just wasn't in me to do a lot of that stuff anyway. Like I had no desire. You're never going to take me. I'm never going to send you any pictures. Anybody says they got pictures of me, they're a motherfucking lie because it would never, ever, ever, never happen. Ever. Excuse me. And that's it. That's all. The most suggestive pictures I've ever taken, they went straight to a man I married. Okay. And like I said, suggestive, not like what these people be doing. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, and Jesus, it's just a lot for me to even think about. It's just weird. But anyway, let's listen.
At the same time, Anthony got asked to move to New York, so I said, "Man, I'm going with you." And then when we got out there, Anthony was going to go see whatever. He ended up getting an audition with Ford Models, and then Ford signed him. That was Cassie Ventura's same agency. And so we were from Cali, and we had an apartment in the middle of Manhattan. So all the models in between their go-sees and their auditions would come hang out at our apartment. And we had the weed, and that's when weed was hella illegal. So we was from Cali, we had the weed. Anthony looked good. I was working at Larry Flynt's Hustler Club, so I was already the hottest stripper because Manhattan is only 11 miles, about 13 miles. I'm from Cali, the West Coast. All the East Coast people grew up together. They don't know me and Anthony like that, so they're intrigued. I look good, he look good. It's 20 years earlier. I'm 46 right now. I'll be 47 in January. So imagine me in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? Body was extra banging, and even now, everything's real, butt real, lips real, nose real. I've never had a million behind me, so just imagine that.
So tell us a little bit more about how you guys actually got into doing these Diddy parties and him propositioning your dude.
Anthony is signed to Ford Models. Cassie is coming over to our apartment, hanging out. We're all friends. We actually started.
Oh, you was hanging out with Cassie?
Yeah, she would come over to our apartment too, because her and Anthony were both signed to Ford Models.
Now that is interesting tea right there. I did not remember. See, I'll be honest. I don't even remember how long ago that video was with Tasha K, and I haven't gone back to check. But a lot of that interview I didn't remember because I think, to be honest, I just didn't take it that seriously. I felt like, okay, everybody got a story. And how do we know that they're telling the truth? And the way she was coming across, she seemed real like agitated. And when I say agitated, not agitated in the sense that she was upset. She just seemed really antsy, like she couldn't sit still. She was talking real fast. She was, she was moving around. It was just, I don't know. It was just, she was a little distracting for me. So I just didn't I took what she said with a grain of salt. Now it sets differently with me now that we know the things that we know. And for her to say that she was hanging out with that Cassie and she were friends, it makes sense now. But anyway, let's listen.
We were convenient right in the middle of the city. So in between your auditions, your casting, you would come smoke weed and hang out at the bomb couple from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? We had the doorman building, we was popping. And so so we all had our own private stories of because East Coast music was a soundtrack to our lives, from the West Coast. Like, we was fans of everybody: Mary J. Blige, Biggie, 112, Craig Mack, Mace, Black Rob, Young Dirty Money, Diddy, everybody, Lil Kim. Shout out to Lil Kim. I got to meet her with T-Pain. She's very nice. She was very nice to me. So when we got there, we all had our own, when me and Anthony got there, we had our own vision of what we would do if we ever met these certain people, Jay-Z, Diddy, and all that. And then Cassie did too. Her and Anthony were inspiring models. And Cassie wanted to sing and stuff. Anthony, he just more wanted to model, smoke weed, look good, get his dick type shit. Cassie, she wanted to model, but she wanted to sing. She wanted to be an entertainer. And so we all had dreams to meet Diddy. So then fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. So he never invites me along to his auditions or his go-sees, but this particular day he invited me because he knew I was a fan. Like, he knew I was gonna be mad. He went to the damn thing and you didn't take me. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to meet people and stuff. I was already a dancer. I was already moving and shaking. I already had a gang of athletes and whatever. But the music industry, because I rap and sing, that's where I wanted to get into. So long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mellow mad, like. Shh. And so low key, me and Anthony laughing. We like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, And then they called him. And then when they called him, I'm like, yeah, you got this, my nigga. Like, dapping on. And then that's when two-way pages was out. So when they called, I flipped my two-way up. So I'm on my two-way lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, fuck that. And the door flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? And like, Anthony is a very good looking guy. His mother is, African American Black lady, and his father is an Italian man. And actually, the wine, Gallo wine, that's his family. And
okay, like, this is tea. Again, she could have said all this shit on Tasha K. I don't remember none of it. Okay, I don't remember none of it. A mess. Hey, the real VV. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Let me see who got them. Ooh, child, the tea. Okay. Scorpio Chick, 504, Janetta, Sunshine, and it's a new day. Have all been gifted memberships from the one, the only, the real VB. Yay! Thank you so much, the real VB. Woo. So here again, we're talking about the Gallo wine. That's Anthony Gallo's family. Now, I don't know why she would have to be stripping and all. Well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say, why is she working so hard and all this hustling at the strip joint if your man is from a multi-million-dollar family? But then again, maybe she just wanted her own money, and I can respect that. But my God, sis, couldn't you get a job at the hospital, wherever, like you were working in the medical field out in California when your mama saw that you was sucking dick? So why you got to come out here and start stripping? But anywho, nevertheless, Gallo wine is the man's family. My. Let's listen, child.
Allegedly, his dad got basically shunned from his family for choosing up on a Black woman. And he went on to have a few kids, and all of them are boys, and they're all very good-looking guys. But his dad chose to be poor to follow his heart
No.
and be with a black woman. And so,
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I forgot that part. That explains it. So the family, that's his family, but he didn't have the money because of the black woman. Okay, got it. Let's listen.
allegedly, his dad still to this day rides a bike in Northern California. He's from Northern California. He had moved down to LA. And so even though he was a good-looking guy mixed with black and Italian, he wasn't no punk. Like, it wasn't no gay in him. It wasn't no, bitch in him. Like, he was like a thug, but he a pretty boy. So, like, I guess they underestimated him, thinking that because he was so good-looking that he go that way. So he was more than offended. He was on some gangster shit. Like, he got me fucked up. So when we were in the elevator, I was like, man, what happened? He was like, man, he gave me a look like, man, shut the. And I was like, all right, because there was people in the elevator. So I was like, all right. So when we got, out the elevator, I'm like, what's up? I'm like, why you tripping? He was like, man, nigga asked me to suck his dick. I said, who asked you to suck his dick? He said, Puffy. So we calling Puffy back.
Now that I believe. That ain't the first time we heard that shit. You see that boy is good looking too? Because see, it sounds like Diddy actually likes white boys. It sounds like to me from all the stories I've heard, he likes white boys the most. That's what I get the feel of. But the black dudes, if they're light skinned, he really likes them. So I think that's why, allegedly people have associated him with, doing what he does to French Montana. When you think about the fact that, see, I said, soon as this shit happened with Cassie and her husband having all these words for Cassie and Cassie being trained by this dude, I figured that old dude had been going to those damn parties. It sounds like it's coming out that he was. That's how they met. He was probably sleeping with Cassie at those parties. And Diddy knew that because Diddy's watching it happen. Because it sounds like mainly Diddy wasn't really having sex with the women unless he was running trains, unless he's graping. You know what I mean? Like that's why he goes through the back door sometimes, I think I think he does women like that because he really don't like women. I don't think he likes women. And that's why he likes to abuse them in that way. But I think he's attracted to men, but I think his preference is probably white men. And then he goes to the light-skinned men. And, he's a weirdo, like for real. It's just, it's disgusting. But he's a hateful person. I really do think he's a freaking devil. But anyway, which kind of leads into some other stuff she says in part 2. But okay, let's get through it.
Puff. I said, no, he didn't. And it broke my heart, broke her arm. And I was like, nah. And he was like, he asked me to suck his dick. I was like, oh. I was like, well, then I see why, you know what I mean? For sure, like, it's a wrap. He's like, I don't need that job. That's bad. So I was like, for sure. You know what I mean? We got in the cab. We went back to our apartment. His homeboy ended up coming through. We smoked blunts. We laughed at it. We was like, that, you know what I mean? But then because I was a dancer, I'm also in the regular go-go club scene. And I ran into Tamiko Thomas, who ended up being, I call it handler, one of Diddy's handlers, wranglers. And she approached me with opportunity to help me and Anthony out. If I would dance at Diddy's white parties, Anthony can go ahead and book the campaign. I agreed to dance at the white parties. Anthony booked the Sean John campaign. He was everywhere. He was on billboards, buses, bus stops, cabs, in the magazine, all at the same damn time. He was everywhere. But right now, if you go and try to Google any one picture of that Sean John campaign, Diddy done scrubbed it all and can't even hardly find a picture.
Wow. Ain't that something? Look, money does have a lot of power that comes along with it. The more money you got, the more power. My God, today. Let's listen.
Did Diddy remember him whenever he eventually got that gig? Was he like, oh, yeah, I remember you?
Yeah, because when he booked it, after they had like a lounge party where it was like a celebration, like, hey, the new campaign, that's all. And it was a very small lounge, like only the models was there, the creative director, the photographer, Diddy, a couple other people, and that's it. And so he went over it. So it was kind of like, thank you for letting your girl work my party. You know what I mean? You came out great, my nigga. He didn't say my nigga. He said, what did he say? What did he say? Came out great, my guy. You're killing it, baby. You killing it. You know what I mean? So he basically tried to go over the fact that he had asked him to suck his, because he tried him and he didn't fall for it. So he felt stupid. He didn't know he was that thug, you know.
So what was your reaction to that? I know, you know, both of you guys were upset, but were you thinking like, damn, ain't no Diddy was like this? Were you guys shocked?
I was, because I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, just what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up. So I had let it go. I was over it. When they asked me to work the parties, I was like, hell yeah, I would have did that shit down there for free. You know what I mean? Just for the networking. I was a groupie at that point. And I didn't realize how pretty I was. I didn't realize they looked at me like that. And I extra didn't know that Diddy had gotten word of my former career in the adult entertainment industry that I was manipulated into by an ex-boyfriend.
Uh-oh. So there was a screenshot of her damn video, which tells me Lionel B took his ass over there to find the proof. And I ain't mad at him, but wait a minute here. Let me see if I can find that picture again. Shit, we're going to have to, let me go back a little bit because here.
I was very sheltered, naive. My parents are from LA, and so they raised me in the suburbs because they didn't want me to experience anything they saw growing up in the hood. And so when I went to Long Beach State and they put me in the co-ed dorms, to the left were the athletes and to the right were the girls who were stripping to get.
Wait, did I go back too far? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go about right. Wait. Oh, shit. Let's go back. Let me go back about right to when she talks about Tamiko.
State was over by the food. You know, old girls checkpoint was over there by the rooms if you wanted to go.
Y'all messed up. I'm sorry. Let me. Oh, y'all gonna fire me. Don't fire.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's listen.
And I call her handler, one of Diddy's handlers, wranglers. And she approached me with opportunity to help me and Anthony out. If I would dance at Diddy's white parties, Anthony can go ahead and book the campaign. I agreed to dance at the white parties. Anthony booked the Sean John campaign. He was everywhere. He was on billboards, buses, bus stops, cabs, in the magazine, all at the same damn time. He was everywhere. But right now, if you go and try to Google any one picture of that Sean John campaign, Diddy done scrubbed it all. I can't even hardly find a picture.
Now, did Diddy remember him whenever he eventually got that gig? Was he like, oh yeah, I remember you?
Yeah, because when he booked it, after they had like a lounge party where it was like a celebration, like, hey, the new campaign, that's all. And it was a very small lounge, like only the models was there, the creative director, the photographer, Diddy, a couple other people, and that's it. And so he went over it. So it was kind of like, thank you for letting your girl work my party. You know what I mean? You came out great, my nigga. He didn't say my nigga. He said, what did he say? What did he say? Came out great, my guy. You're killing it, baby. You killing it. You know what I mean? So he basically tried to like go over the fact that he had asked him to suck his, because he tried him and he didn't fall for it. So he felt stupid. He didn't know he was that thug.
So what was your reaction to that? I know both you guys were upset, but were you thinking like, damn, ain't no Diddy was like this? Were you guys shocked?
I was, because I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, just what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up. So I had let it go. I was over it. When they asked me to work the parties, I was like, hell yeah, I would have did that shit down there for free. You know what I mean? Just for the networking. I was a groupie at that point. And I didn't realize how pretty I was. I didn't realize they looked at me like that. And I extra didn't know that Diddy had gotten word of my former career in the adult entertainment.
There it is. So there she is. Oh my God. Can you imagine your mama seeing this shit? And not just your mama, your daddy. My God. Oh, Jesus. No way. No way in hell. Ain't no way.
Industry that I was manipulated into by an ex-boyfriend that I only did for 6 months out of my life. That I wasn't trying. I didn't have aspirations to be a P star, none of that. I got manipulated into it so somebody could basically get my residuals and be basically caking off of me the last 20 plus years. I was very sheltered, naive. My parents are from LA, and so they raised me in the suburbs because they didn't want me to experience anything they saw growing up in the hood. And so when I went to Long Beach State and they put me in the co-ed dorms, to the left were the athletes and to the right were the girls who were stripping to get through school because they were all from LA, Compton, and Long Beach. I'm from Chino, California, a little nerdy girl with valedictorian. So when they were stripping to get through college, I kicked it with them. And that's how I ended up with Jake Steeden. He saw the innocence and naiveness in me. He got me to do their movies. And then when Diddy found out about it, they used that against me.
Did she say naiveness? Baby, you should stay in school though. Because it ain't no naiveness. But okay.
And he viewed me as somebody that was sexually exploited, worthy. And and he played on my heart. It's called coercion of the heart. When I told him that I rap and I sang, and he said I was dope, and he said he was gonna bring me and I had a girl group out, like I'm the Beyonce of my group. They even told you that I was the dopest one, and it's called coercion of the heart. And he played on the fact that he knew I liked to rap, sing, and perform, and that's why he would bring me back year after year, saying you're getting closer, like initiation, you're getting closer. But it never happened. But he kept making me, sexually perform while he was wheeling and dealing, and getting jewelry from Jacob the jeweler.
So we keep hearing this thing about Jacob the jeweler and Diddy. So I think that's interesting that she brings him up. But let's listen some more.
Cutting a deal with this, recording me and him over there so he can extort that person out of woo. We all didn't know, but he had a plan the whole time. And that's why he made people sign NDAs that said, you can't talk about what we went through until 20 years after I died. But I never signed that. Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane, and then they got hit with that. I was already out the game. I was done from 2004 to 2009. By the time he was running around with them, I was already, on the way out.
So if I understand correctly, so basically he had you setting up people, man. Some of his high profile people, he had you go over there so he can get video of certain.
No, he wouldn't say go over there so I can get video. He would hire me to work as a go-go dancer. They had 3 stages, positioned throughout his mansion. It was where he lived. It was his residence. It wasn't a club. It wasn't a lounge. And so it just makeshift stages, 3 stages set up in his house, like for us to be checkpoints. Like my stage was over by the bar. Tamiko's stage was over by the food. Old girl's checkpoint was over there by the rooms if you wanted to go do something. So it's like, I think he kind of told the guests, hey, if you want to drink, look for, just look for a stage and you're going to find something you need. You know what I mean? So we were elevated above the crowd. And so, but that we were instructed to only drink from certain liquor bottles. It's the girls' champagne, it's the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the boys' champagne.
Now, we have heard that. Again, I mean, we can say, there will be people that are going to come out here that are going to tell the stories that we've already heard and that they never may have experienced it, but because they heard the stories, like we heard the stories, then they are going to come out here and tell these damn stories as if they were there. So I get it. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. Some might feel that she's lying. I understand why you might feel that way. Because of some of the things she says. She says a lot. She talks a lot. She says things that get under people's skin. I didn't know I was that pretty. I was a valedictorian. I was, from the suburbs. I'm from California. You know what I'm saying? Like all that shit, like it's extra. It could all be true. It could all be true. And while it could all be true, doesn't necessarily mean that it all needs to be stated. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Mark Curry did say that. I told y'all I was supposed to interview Mark Curry. Were y'all around when I said that? I tried to get him to interview. We scheduled the time to interview, and then he tried to, I feel, ask me to pay him. Those weren't exactly the words he used, but what he said hinted that that he wanted to be paid. And I told him I don't pay for interviews. And when I told him that, then he's like, oh, I don't need your money. But then he didn't do the interview. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, please. So anyway, and he used to date one of my dear friends. Now, I didn't know him or her at the time. Actually, that's a whole nother. Remember I told you the one guy, there was another guy that, remember I texted him and he responded back and said he had no comment. That same, get it. This is how small the world is. That same girl used to date him too. She dated him. I want to say in high school, like her last couple years of high school or something like that. And she dated the other guy while she was in college. The men didn't know each other at the time. And of course, she didn't know that she was going to be meeting them because she had moved from I don't want to give too much detail, but basically where she went to high school and grew up is not where she went to college. Okay. She still lives in Atlanta now. Okay. And she's been there since she went to college in Atlanta. Okay. So we're talking 100 years ago. So she met the one guy that said he's not going to, he didn't have any comment. She dated him when she lived in her home state and knew him from the home state. She met Mark Curry when she got to Atlanta. Ain't this shit, it's a small ass world. Both of them became very acquainted with Diddy. Mark was his artist. The other one was like his best friend and a co-producer on things, and later went on to work in A&R for a major record label, one that we all know and love. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I say all that to say it's a small motherfucking world. And I had sort of, reached out to both of them, and neither one of them, well, Mark, yeah, I didn't like that shit. I felt like he was tripping. Yeah, I'm not playing no games. I have had Ed Gordon over here, Karen White. Y'all know who I have interviewed. Some are my friends, some I didn't know, but none of them motherfuckers got paid and never will be, because you can never guarantee the true integrity from a interviewee if you are willing to pay them for their story. If you pay them for the story, they're going to make it more salacious, because the more salacious they can make it, the more money they're going to want. So that's why I'm never going to pay you for an interview. You're going to get something out of it because you're getting your story out. Okay. I'm going to get something out of it because it's my channel, but I'm never going to pay you for it until Oprah and all of your favorite talk show hosts and news journalists, until they start paying people for interviews, I won't be paying them for interviews. So you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I didn't like that shit, But anywho, okay, let's listen.
And all the champagne was laced with ketamine, like horse tranquilizer, ecstasy. That's not allegedly. We were all doped up. And to this day, I believe we all, and I know I do, have a chemical imbalance. Like whenever I drink anything, one glass of wine, all of a sudden I'm a stripper, I'm a P-star. Like in my mind, I just black out and I'm that. I'm She Diddy. Oh, wow. Orlando Brown running around like I'm Puff. He not really act like it to everybody else. Everybody looking like he want attention. Like he wild.
I'm wondering if Orlando Brown is one of these kids named in them suits. I'm not saying that he is, but he definitely, I do believe, even though Orlando sounds really like, I do think something's a little wrong with him, but I think whatever's wrong with him is because of what drugs have done to him. But then you have to ask yourself, why was he on drugs? Yeah, some people, they do drugs because they like to get high. Okay, just because they like to have fun or this part of the party. And then after a while, it becomes an addiction. But I firmly believe that most of these people that we know of in the industry that really get heavily addicted to this stuff, it's because of what they've endured. It's because of what they've had to go through and how they've been treated. And I feel that could be the case with Orlando Brown. He goes off, he does really crazy and says really crazy shit. But I think in the midst of that, there's some truth to what he says. And when he says, yeah, you gave me the whatever, the washkash, whatever the hell, y'all heard him say what he says. Basically, he's saying Diddy and whomever else he was involved with going to the Diddy parties, they gave him a disease. And that I believe. So anyhow, let's listen and look at this picture. How old do we think that boy was in this picture? We keep hearing about these 9-year-olds, 13-year-olds, very young kids, some being boys at that. It would not surprise me if on some level he hasn't been pulled in or won't be called in, he may not come across as a credible witness, but in some ways I have compassion for somebody who might have some addiction issues based upon what they dealt with, you know. Please hit the like button, y'all.
Like, but it's something about when he drugged you that he stood over you, like infusing himself into you while you laid there unconscious. And it's like it became a part of you, because after a certain amount, they started calling me She Diddy. They're like, man, she act like Diddy. She just like Diddy. And hence, I've been She Diddy for the last 20 years. So I feel Orlando when he be like, man, I'm Puff. It's nice to meet you, I'm Puff. Because when we get faded, like, it's like he come out in us, like, and that's forever. That's why it's haunting us to this day.
How do you think he was able to, you know, but besides all the things you guys were laced with, you think he put maybe his DNA or something kind of strange into that concoction?
Yeah, the reason why he like to take, we have a chakra in our anus, guys and girls, and your chakra is a pathway to your soul. So because he's working for Lucifer, his goal is to take souls to hell. So that's why straight men, he wanted to turn them gay. Even if a gay man was gay, he wanted to make him be a pedophile and be with a minor. His thing was to take the soul. So that's why after a certain amount of time, he would make an announcement like, you better go on home, because, the party really about to crack now. And all of a sudden, everybody's demon would come out. And that's on God. Like, have you ever gotten like so faded or drunk where your body is doing stuff, but in the morning you have literally no recollection? Like, if it ain't from your homeboy showing you it, like, man, I recorded you, nigga. If it wasn't for him showing you, you would swear up and down you didn't do that shit. But then when he show you the video, you're like, what the? I jumped in the pool. I don't even know how to swim, my nigga. What? Like, I don't even remember that bitch. Like, what? It was like that.
That's that blackout drinking.
Right, but he had imagine everybody blacked out though. It don't matter if you a celebrity or. That's why J-Lo left the country. He had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old.
Okay, now this is where it gets tricky for me, because hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Okay, I had to check a message, y'all. That's where it gets tricky for me, and I'll tell you in a minute. But let's go back to this whole how Diddy comes out in them. She kind of touches on this on part 2. That's why I do kind of want us to get through this. We're 17 minutes, about 18 minutes into this now. That's about halfway through. If y'all got time, we might be able to get through this part 2. But this shit she says in part 2 makes me think of Nesto. And you'll know what I'm talking about when we get there. Now, it gets tricky in this part because she says her homegirl, who was 11. I don't know how this person's her homegirl, but let's listen. I'm going to go back just to like a few seconds. She also says something about J-Lo leaving the country. When did J-Lo leave the country? Because I wasn't aware that J-Lo had left the country. It must have been like right after the whole shooting situation or whatever. I don't know. But she said that's why she left the country. But let's listen. We have heard stories recently of people saying J-Lo was doing stuff. J-Lo was involved with stuff. They're saying that J-Lo taught him some of the ritualistic stuff. I don't know if she believed in Santeria. I don't know, but it's just a trip. So, Leslie.
Oh boy, I recorded you, nigga. It wasn't funny. You would swear up and down.
No, wait. A lady 747, I hear you. Now, I started out this. I don't know if you were here at the beginning when I said this. I said, do I believe people will come out here and tell stories, retell stories that we've heard from the blogs? Yes, that is very possible. And if you believe that that's what she's doing, I get it. I'm beginning to believe her more and more, though. I'm beginning to believe that while that could be true, it might not be true. It could be true that she experienced some shit on her own. And she comes across, she has mannerisms, she has habits. There are things about how she tells these stories that can cause you to question it. just based upon what you know about the nature of people. She looks like, oh, she's high, or she's done, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. I get why you could think that. However, it's quite possible that she could be telling the truth. So let's just try to listen with an open mind. But I get what you're saying.
Do that shit. But then when he show you the video, you're like, what the? I jumped in the pool. I don't even know how to swim, my nigga. What? Like, I don't even remember that bitch. Like, what? It was like that.
That's that blackout drinking.
Right, but he had imagine everybody blacked out though. No matter if you a celebrity or that's why J-Lo left the country. He had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. They put her with the jelly beans. They put on a private jet. They took her to the studio in New York and then had the nerve to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly. And then the same girl,
J-Lo was messing around with.
Man, there's so many. I dropped.
Now, the picture he just showed, this is where it gets tricky for me too, because the picture he just showed, that might not be a girl that she's speaking of. Because the picture he just showed is the picture that we have seen that people have said is allegedly Tierra Marie. That picture is the picture that they're saying of the girl that Harve Pierre met in Detroit and flew her to New York to spend the day with Diddy. They took that picture with her sitting on the lap, and then they graped her. They ran a train. He, Diddy, Harve Pierre, and somebody else. Okay? They're saying that from what I was told or what I saw in the show, on multiple interviews, in fact, was that is Tierra Marie and hold on one second, y'all. That's Tierra Marie, and that she was flown back that day. They took advantage of her, but she's saying 11. Now, the one way that an 11-year-old could be her homegirl is if she became acquainted with old girl after the girl became older. You know, you meet up with people, you meet somebody, and you find out y'all have similar experiences. For instance, going back to my friend, I said I met my friend in Atlanta. We were the best of friends for 100 years, it seems, right? Who I said dated those two guys. That didn't, you know, they knew each other in different time frames, but then here they are in the same space. That guy, I met him too. I met him before I met her. I met him about 5-6 years before I met her. And she had dated him, but I didn't know anything about it. I had met him and we were talking, and I met him while I was working at the hotel, and he was telling me how he was a producer with Puffy. He knew I wanted to be a singer. We were talking about that. I had shared some of my music with him, my demo at the time I had done. So we had talked about that. And then fast forward 5 or 6 years later, now she and I had been friends for a few years. This was what was so crazy. She and I had been friends for a few years. I moved back to Ohio. She came up here to visit me. We're up here just having a conversation. And I don't know why we got on this subject. She was telling me a story about that guy. But this was how I had forgotten. Look, the man wasn't in the forefront of my mind. I hadn't been in touch with him. We only talked for maybe a few months on the phone. And you know, after I met him, I think I saw him like a couple times in person ever. But the rest of the time we talked on the phone. And then here she is years later. She happens to be at my home here in Ohio. We're sitting talking. She's reminiscing about this boyfriend from Florida. And oh, shit. This dude she dated when she lived there, you know. And she said the guy's name. Now she said his government name. The guy I'm talking about that she and I both knew, the one that messaged me that day, he has a government name, but he also has an alias name that he uses for, like, for his business. You know what I'm saying? For being a producer and that kind of thing. So he had two different names. So I had forgotten about the dude because I really hadn't been, I hadn't talked to him no more. And when she brought it up, she said his full name. Now, I don't know what made her say his whole name, because he does have a very unique, his government name. He has a unique kind of name. It makes you want to say his whole name, to be quite honest. So she said the whole name, and I was like, damn, that name's so familiar. She was like, you don't know him. He's from blah, blah, blah. And I said, I know that name. She said, Val, you don't know him. But see, I'm one of those people, don't tell me what I don't know when I know that I know. Like, it may take me a minute to bring it back, but I can't stand when a motherfucker tell me I don't know some shit, and I done told you I know some shit, right? It bothers me a little bit. So she said the name, and I said, I know that name. She's like, you don't know him. I said, I'm telling you, that name sounds familiar. So it made her angry because she was kind of like, girl, this person, I knew him from high school. You don't know him. He ain't never lived in Atlanta, and I'm like, I'm telling you. So she went on, she told her story, but the whole time she's telling her story, I'm halfway listening to her story because I'm like, I know this motherfucker. I know this name, right? So something said, look, I had an old school phone book. I'm saying old school because who has a phone book now? How many of y'all got a phone book that you'll write names down and put the phone number and address and all that, right? But I have a phone book from back in the day, and I keep it even to this day because part of it is just, it's a little nostalgic for me, but I keep it. And something said, let me go grab my damn phone book. I didn't even tell her what I was going to get it for or what I was doing. I went back and got that damn phone book. And when I pulled up that government name, I said, So I look at it, and then I said to her, all I did was walked out into the room, and I said, the alias name. I'm not going to say it, right? I said the alias name, and she said, I said, bitch, don't ever tell me what I don't know. So I say all that to say, she and I knew the same guy from two different periods of time. But now we're swapping stories about the guy, okay? Same thing could happen with this 11-year-old. Maybe years later, with her being in the business or being in the circle, maybe this woman became acquainted with this girl. I don't know. But maybe it's something like that, and then they're thinking about it, I don't know. They're thinking about what experience they had that was similar. What'd you say, Leo lady? I'm the same way, V. Don't tell me what I don't know when I know. Exactly. I hate. Woo-wee. And I'm gonna tell you, I think part of the reason why I really feel that way is because my mother used to do that shit to me. And I'd be like, I know this person, or I know this, or I know them. And she'd be like, that, don't you tell me, she gone, and you don't buck up to her. And it used to bother me so bad because I felt like it's so fucking dismissive, And so when it happens, even right now, it bugs me a little bit. So anywho, it could be something like that with this lady. I don't know, but let's listen.
Names on the neck, man, on the, we call Diddy right now. But yeah. And then that's the same girl that in the magazine is laying on the table butt naked with fruit and food and stuff off of her. And we all eating off of her. I sucked a strawberry off her. She 14 years old laying on that table. She had a body like a grown woman. You don't think anybody's looking at that thinking that's a kid laying there. You're assuming it's a grown woman. So he made everybody be with a minor, against your will, and he recording the shit. Same girl needed to do a number 2 on stage. She performing. She told him, I need to go off stage. And he just bowed. He told her no. She ended up shitting on stage. It was a wet. Went everywhere, and Denzel Washington grabbed up his wife, mobbed to Diddy, and was like, man, you don't respect nobody. Had to run up out there.
Now, we have heard that story before, and we never understood why Denzel would be so furious and leave like that. And that makes sense. Now, again, if you don't believe her, I get it. But it does make fucking sense. And that would be enough to make you say, you don't respect nobody. This woman said she had, or this child or this person said they had the shit. And you said no. But see, I'm gonna leave anyway and go shit. Okay. And whatever else. I ain't gonna do that shit right here. You're just gonna have to whoop my ass on the way to the bathroom. I'm gonna shit on you. At that point, I'm just gonna shit on you. Okay. But you're not gonna tell me what I can and cannot do. But then again, the girl's probably young. Maybe she was scared. I don't know. But if you saw that take place and that's not what you're down with. Now, remember, I told you I'd heard things about Denzel, but nothing like that. That ain't what I heard. I heard he cheats. I heard that. I heard he might allegedly, again, this is what I heard. I'm not saying I know this for a fact, but I heard, he may snort a little something. That's what I had heard. I told you what I heard about, the people he works with. I told you that, but I ain't never heard nothing about no kids. I never heard him doing nothing that's illegal in that way, nothing like that. And and especially if his wife is with him, that could feel very disrespectful, and that could be enough for him to say, And remember that Brandon Jackson said that Brandon Jackson, another comedian actor, said Denzel told him, you need to leave 30 minutes before the devil arrives. If you're at the party, you kicking it at the party, you need to leave 30 minutes before the devil gets there. And I think in that sense, he knows or heard maybe what happens when the devil gets there. But, anyway, let's listen.
That's the thing. That's what they're talking about with Denzel Washington had to run up out of there.
So that's why Denzel and his wife left that party, because of that incident.
She shit on stage, and she was only 14 years. He didn't know she was 14. It was just the fact that she shit on stage and in front of everybody. And then Diddy took her to a room and beat her ass because she shit on stage. Then he would only give her water baths and not let her wash with soap. I'm gonna say allegedly because she's still Jane Doe right now. I'm gonna say allegedly. You know what I mean? It's allegedly, but she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids. But they took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. 2 babies they took out of her stomach. That's not allegedly.
Now, that part is weird to me. I don't know. I'm not. Okay, so let's say this girl got pregnant. And let's say the babies were taken from her. What 2 kids is she supposed to be trying to get a DNA on? Like, we know Kim had his kids. The only kids of his that Kim didn't have is Chance. Because I don't care what nobody say. Justin ain't his kid. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I could be wrong, but you can't make me believe that Justin is his child. Justin looks like the man who they say is his child. See, here's the other thing. Misa, Diddy likes to come and snatch people's women. Al B Show was a mentor to Diddy too. He snatched up Kim from Al B Show. Ryan, what's his name? I was about to say Ryan Gosling. That's the actor. But Ryan, whatever, somebody, if you could remember his name. The producer that was with Cassie, he snatched her up from Ryan. He was a producer and friend of Diddy's, and Diddy snatched Cassie up from him. Then that's Misa. Misa was with Wolf. Cassie was with Ryan. Kim was with Al B Show. And then, I don't know, I think that situation with Chance's mom, Chance was Kim's best friend, Ryan Leslie. Thank you so much. My name is not girl. Yeah, so Chance's mother was best friends with Kim. And he went around and had a baby with her. But see, here's the thing. At that time, I thought, oh, that's foul. That's foul. But if they're all having these freak offs, because I believe Kim was a part of freak offs before Cassie and then with Cassie and beyond. I believe that. I believe that the best friend probably was too. For all we know, Misa could have been a part of that situation too. I've heard that Misa said they were all friends at one point, or that she got along with everybody, but Kim and Chance's mom, they fell out because of that whole situation. Oh, Chance's, okay. So Chance's mama was Tupac's ex, right? Okay. Now that makes sense. So, here, and so you know what that reminds me of then? When that Courtney guy keeps saying, well, Tupac was with Kim first. That's a lie. That's a lie. If we're supposed to believe that book, the one that he published, right, that he claims he didn't read before he published it, and then before he turned it over to Chris Todd's ass, the book says that happened after him and Kim were together, right? That Kim met Tupac after that, not before. So it makes sense. He could have, and because I said he a liar, he probably got that story fucked up. Just like the story when he says he got raided and the attorney says he was not raided. He got that fucked up. See, because he's terrible with his lines. He doesn't study his lines well. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying please hit the like button. That's why I'm saying that. Okay? Because I'm going to need you to hit that damn like button. Okay? Thank you. All right, now listen. Let's listen.
Damn.
And I'm going to say allegedly, she had a threesome with Diddy and his own mama / auntie. And she had a threesome with Nelly and Diddy. That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly. Sorry, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. Congratulations.
Oh, let me go back to that.
So I'm going to say allegedly because she's still Jane Doe right now. I'm going to say allegedly. You know what I mean? It's allegedly. But she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids. They took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. 2 babies they took out of her stomach.
So now let's say this. Okay, let's just be conspiracy theorists. Okay, let's say that what this lady is saying here is true. Okay, that this girl told her. What if Kim didn't have them twins, but they look like her? Well, they don't look exactly like her, but to me, they don't look exactly like her. I feel like Christian looks just like Diddy, but better looking. You know what I'm saying? A better looking version of Diddy. That's what I think he looks like. I don't think he looks like Kim. But what if the twins are by that girl? And just like they say, and which I'm not saying I believe this either. I'm not saying this necessarily. I don't know what to, at this point, everything is up for grabs, child. I don't know what to think. But you know how everybody say Beyonce didn't have blue ivy, right? They say that. And we did see that deflated belly. We did see that whole situation occur. And people said, well, she was trying to pretend that she was pregnant because somebody else was carrying the baby or it wasn't her baby. You know, we've heard all kinds of stories. What if they took these babies from these other women and raised them and pretended that they were pregnant? Now, I'm not saying it's true, y'all. I'm just saying. All this shit is weird. They're doing weird shit that I never would have even dreamt was even possible. You know, if the only way I would have thought this kind of shit at any of this shit was possible, you know, years ago, was if I saw it in a movie, not because it was really going on. Especially, and I ain't trying to be funny, this is based upon how I was raised, especially some Black folks. That some of the shit that we're talking about is something I was under the impression we just didn't do, but that others might. Okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm just being honest. Okay? Which you say the Black girl experience. Actually, Kim Porter knew Tupac before and was also around him after. Okay, so in the book, though, the book that we all agree, I think most of us agree, ain't true. That's not the narrative in that book. And the person who came out here saying that is a person who claims they had the book, a person who says that they published the book. So all I'm saying is there's a whole lot of contradictions going on around here. So I'm not going to dispute it. I'm just saying that ain't what the book said, even though that fool came out here and said that shit. You know what I'm saying? And in the book itself, it doesn't even suggest that. I don't know. You would think that if there are people, I'm saying we because I didn't know that about them. I do know that Kadada started kicking it with Diddy after Tupac died. Now that I'm not saying kicked it with him like was sleeping with him, but she was in his circle. But then again, in the book, it sounds like child, who knows what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Anyway, it's all weird. It's all too weird for me. My name is Not Girl Says. Speaking of, you ever heard that story that Sandra Bullock stole her black son from his mother at hospital? No, I ain't never heard that. No, but I have heard that TD Jakes' daughter stole her kid from that woman from the church. That I heard, but I hadn't heard nothing about. I don't know why folks stealing folks' kids. I did hear that Madonna's wasn't it Madonna? Or was it Charlize? No, I think Madonna. They say Madonna stole that baby. I think the little girl, the African girl or some shit. Oh, anywho, a mess. What the mother? Did Tasha K interview the mother, Sandra Bullock's? You talking about Luke or whatever? I think that's his name, Luke. Something like that. What? I ain't never heard that. It's too much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This stealing of the kids thing. Oh no. Wow. Okay. No, I never heard that about Sandra Bullock. And honestly, I ain't never heard nothing bad about Sandra Bullock. And Sandra Bullock made a point to move from Hollywood and everything. She lives in Austin, Texas, and has been there for quite some time and tries to live like a normal life. Louis. That's right, Louis. And has really tried to live provide a very normal lifestyle for those kids. So I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that. Hey, Diddy's baby oil. The mama story has never changed, so I don't know. Which mama? The Louis' mama? I gotta look that up, child. Now I have heard that shit about Charlize Theron's child that supposedly she's been. Anyway, I can't. I don't know. I can't take it. I can't take. It's too. All this shit's crazy. But anyway, let's listen. All this shit crazy.
That's not allegedly.
Damn.
And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, she had a threesome with Diddy and his own mama / auntie, and she had a threesome with Nelly and Diddy.
Okay. So, let's go back to the first thing she says. Diddy's mama / auntie. It is her belief that Janice Combs is not Diddy's actual mama. That instead she is his auntie. Okay. And that one of the reasons he could kiss her in the mouth, one of the reasons why he could talk about her being able to touch the ground on, with her hands flat, all that kind of talk and not feel no way about it is because it ain't his mama. But like I said at the beginning of this, if it's his auntie, it's nasty as fuck. See, I said 100% nastiness would be that's his mama. But to say it's his auntie don't make it that much better. It's still nasty and disgusting as fuck. And even if she was no blood relation, do you understand that I got play cousins that are more family to me than some blood cousins? I have some play aunties that have been more of family to me than any other blood relative. So I'm not one that believes that just because it's blood or because of a certain title, that is what determines whether or not something's right or wrong. In my mind, oh, that shit's fucked up. If if my play uncle try to holler at me, I'm throwing up. Okay. Just like when Morgan Freeman started dating his step granddaughter and shit, that shit is disgusting to me. Okay. I ain't been able to see that man the same way since. Here he was out here taking his granddaughter to awards ceremonies and shit, only to turn around talking about he done fell in love with her ass and start dating her, his granddaughter that he had known all her damn life as grandpa. That shit is nasty as fuck. Okay. So I just say all that to say this shit nasty. Everything she said is nasty if it's true. Okay. But she goes deeper in part 2. So let me hurry up and get through this so we can see if we can get shit. I don't think we're going to make it because we only halfway through. Okay. But let's try.
That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly. Sorry, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. Congratulations on the birthday. I love y'all together. It was 20 years ago. Don't get mad at 20. We talking about 20 years ago. Don't get emotional. We just telling our truth. People, please don't get mad. It's some of y'all's favorites. It's gonna kill y'all. It's gonna devastate y'all when you hear the names involved, because we all grew up on these people. We all love these people. We'd have never thought these people would have been involved in the things that they're involved in. We're just telling our truths, everybody. And it was 20 years ago. So please don't judge us or say we lying. We're being nice enough to let y'all know what's going on from an insider point of view. If you were not even there, don't tell somebody they lying when you weren't even there.
Big facts. And fans love to say, that people are capping or people are just coming up with stories. Now, hold on. Before we move forward, I'm still stuck on, you said Diddy and his mom and his auntie,
No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie, has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She's been picking him since he was adolescent, because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started him. She's the one that put his head up initially. That's why, allegedly. I might be talking too much.
Now here's the thing. Makeup lover said, I remember seeing a video of Allie talking about Denzel is as evil as Diddy. I don't believe Allie. I'm sorry. I don't believe Allie at all. What I know for sure is that we have not yet proven that this woman is lying, even though I didn't believe her at first. I had no proof that she was lying about it. We can prove that Allie tells lies because Allie says Tupac is her fucking father, and we know better than that bullshit. Anybody in their right mind knows that Allie ain't nobody, that ain't no damn Tupac's child, right? So you tell that lie, I ain't got nothing else to hear from you. I mean, I'm sorry, you could have some truth sprinkled in there, but fuck it. We've already proven that you told a big ass lie for attention, and I'm not here for it. So anything Allie says, I don't want to hear about it no more. I really don't. The only way I want to hear from Allie is if she testifies in court, and I'm going to believe that the feds brought her in. They know that there's some credibility that she brings, and that they've been able to confirm that what she's saying is true. But until that moment, I don't want to hear shit Allie got to say. I don't, because as far as I'm concerned, Allie may have heard that Denzel has been at a party. And Denzel was, it sounds like, at this party, at a white party, and that he left because he felt like, he said that he don't respect nobody. So if that's the case, I think people have made a lot of assumptions that because somebody's at a party, that means they're doing something. I'm sorry, I don't believe that about Denzel, because I'm gonna be honest with you. When I tell you, I've told you what I've heard about that man. I ain't heard nothing like that before. I ain't never heard no freaky shit like that before, ever. Not that I would have to hear about it. I'm just saying, y'all, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. For the most part, Denzel doesn't even do parties like that. He doesn't even do the Hollywood scene like that. He typically does his work and goes home. And now, that's not to say he ain't doing some shit here and there, but to be out in a party being at an orgy and doing that kind of stuff, I don't believe it. They're going to have to prove that to me. Not because I think, he's above. Well, no, I do think that he has enough discernment not to do that. But I don't believe that. I'm just saying. And I'm not saying that you can't believe it. I'm just saying there's too many reasons why I don't believe Allie's ass. And like I said, we have not proven that this woman has told a lie yet. We just haven't proved it. Doesn't mean that she is telling the truth. I'm just saying. Yeah, she also, and who hasn't heard that story before? A lady 747. Tupac ain't dead. Tupac in Cuba. Tupac is still alive. And I don't believe that either. Okay. And I do believe that if he was living like that. So like when Suge came out here and was saying, yeah, Tupac is pretending to be, I think Suge was out here talking shit, because let's be clear. If Tupac was living in Cuba like that, Cuba is not going to extradite him. So he could very well act like, he alive. Why wouldn't he? If he escaped, United States can't do shit to him. And even though there's that man that they have that looks, he looks exactly like Tupac. But the pictures I've seen, the guy that they're saying is Tupac, he looks as young as Tupac did in the 90s. Make that make sense. So Tupac is in Cuba still looking like he's 25 with his bandana around his head. I ain't going. I won't go. I ain't going. Okay? Ciao.
Now go ahead. Keep going. We loving this.
Yeah, but allegedly that's why he took Kim Porter out, because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly. The twins. The whole family has sex. The same girl I was telling you about that. The
So that's the other thing. Now, I do have trouble with the idea that if Diddy is out here having sex with all these kids, and Diddy is out here in some ways sacrificing these kids by doing it and treating them that way, it's hard to understand why a person would exclude their own kids. They say that he has threesomes and stuff with the sons. They say someone I just heard recently, it might have been what she said. I don't know who. See, I've watched so much stuff now at this point, it's all running together. I can't remember if this is mentioned in part 2 of this interview or if it was in another interview, but it is being alleged that Quincy, they're not necessarily saying that Diddy touched Quincy, but they say something like that Diddy has given him drugs or something. Okay. Or if he really is out here practicing the dark arts, maybe he is using some of that on those kids. But if we believe that Justin is not his kid, we already know that his actual kid is being charged with rape as well. We've heard that they have we've heard that Justin has also participated in things, or he's been a recruiter of young girls and that sort of thing. They're present at these parties and things. It's all very weird to me. So it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I hope he ain't did nothing to none of the kids, but it's hard for me to believe he hasn't. If he's done it to other kids, why would he stop at the ones in his house? The ones he has access to. I don't know. And here's the other thing. Unfortunately, y'all see how he's allowed these little girls. The way those girls were dressed at the little Sweet 16 thing, and these little teeny tiny little skirts and midriffs and shit, like they look a little too grown and fast for me. I'm not saying that they are, but that's what you're giving off. And what daddy? A daddy? What daddy would be okay with it? I I ain't never dressed like that. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, grown adult women doing it, even if you're in college or whatever. I mean, people do it. Mm-mm. And like I said, there are certain things I would never wear around my dad or my pastor or even my son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand it. So, what daddy would be okay with them dressed in certain ways? The way he's put them out to the world, it's like they're on display. And for what reason? You know what I mean? Hey, the Tea Lounge. The way he was fawning over Quincy was just weird. I've not seen I've never seen him. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. I don't know what video you're talking about. I haven't seen him look at any of the kids in a way that made me think weird. But I'm just saying, if we know the boys are like, okay, let's for argument's sake, let's say that Diddy's having these orgies at the house. Okay, he's having the orgies at the house. Don't you think it would be weird that even though, let me say I'm Diddy, okay? I'm Diddy, and I'm gonna have a freak off tonight at my house, okay? And I can have a freak off at my house, and Diddy can. Diddy can have a whole orgy at his house. There's nothing illegal about having orgies, okay? I'm talking about orgies with grown adults who are all consenting. There is nothing illegal about orgies. It may be nasty. It may be weird to some. It may be disgusting to us, but it's not illegal, right? There's nothing illegal about it. But even though I'm grown, and even though I can have an orgy in my house, and even though we can do it right here, do you think I'm going to invite my kid? Does it make sense that any of my kids, even if my kids are grown, does it seem appropriate to have your kid at the orgy with you? Does it seem appropriate to have your kid recruiting to have orgies for you? You know what I'm saying? All of that is nasty. Okay, it's weird. So I just think that if you'll have orgies at your house and invite your kids to attend and then start banging out, running trains with your kid on girls, why should I think you ain't doing something with your kids? Why wouldn't I think your kids would be off limits when they're in your house all the time? And if that's just been the way of the world the entire time, all their life, in some ways they may find it to be normal and not even think about, I don't know. But the shit is creepy as hell, if you ask me. Creepy as hell. Would you say the Tea Lounge? I'll tag you in it on my, okay. Yeah, please do, because I want to see. Actually, if you find it right now, we'll play it before, when I end this one. Okay. All right, let's listen, y'all.
Jane Doe, the 11 and 14-year-olds, the same girl he made strap Justin Bieber down, and she had to strap him down while Diddy and two of his sons took turns, and she had to sit there and watch, and Justin Bieber was crying and begging to be let up. And when she went to...
So wait a minute. So she's saying that the sons... that the sons ran a train on Justin? Is that what he's saying? I think that went over my head.
To unloosen him, Diddy socked her in the face in front of Justin Bieber. So we trying to get with Justin because he would cooperate. Allegedly, Justin, get at me, Justin. We be confidential. We ain't got to tell the press, nobody. Holler at me, Justin. I'll put y'all together. She was there, you was there. I was already out of it. She told me that story, but Justin,
you see what I'm saying? So that girl, okay. So that girl, see, that's what I'm saying. She said she was already out of it. She wasn't there. So that's what makes me think they could have connected later and started swapping stories and was like, yeah, I was there, or I remember that, and you was what? And da, 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 da. Look, let me tell you this. The closest thing to being fast was me and my girlfriends in high school going up. So every year, look, if Black but Not Bitter is here, if Miss Buckeye 99 is here, Say J, anybody from Ohio, they probably know about the OSU block party. That shit used to be off the fucking chain. You hear me? And when I say off the chain, it wasn't off the chain like, like Freaknik, because Freaknik was like a gigantor block party, but everybody's half naked doing freaky shit. The Ohio State University used to have a block party every year, and this was for the Black students, okay? And people would come far and wide across the state of Ohio, and they would come to party. In high school, we used to go. Like by the time I was 16, we would go each year, okay? Now, when I say the closest thing to being fast is us being up there 16, 17, telling guys that we meet that, oh, I'm 19, I'm 18, oh, I'm 19. You know what I'm saying? That's it. We ain't screwing them. We ain't doing nothing crazy, but we are being fast because we lying about our age. For one, we high school students. Now, of course, there are high school students there, but I'm gonna tell you, I was tall. I've always been tall, and I've developed early, so it was easy for me to say I'm 19 and be 16. Nobody would be none the wiser because it was believable. That's as fast as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Shut up. My name is not girl. Yeah, that's fast. But what I'm saying is maybe that could have been sort of what was going on here. She said she thought that girl wasn't 14. She was like, that girl that was laying on that table, she had a body like she was grown. And look, I'm telling you, I started getting boobs in 3rd and 4th grade. At 9 years old, I was getting boobs. I had my period at 11. So at 14, yeah. And I'm going to be honest. Excuse me. I might go somewhere. Me and my mom could be at the store, be at a mall or something. And older boys, not men, but, older guys would be looking at me thinking I'm older. And my mom be like, his ass looking at you. He see, because it was obvious. People thought I was older. I wouldn't be looking at them or even thinking anything about it, but they would be looking at me. Now that's me fully clothed and everything. You know what I'm saying? This girl's butt ass naked, but me fully clothed, you can see I got boobs, I got hips. You know what I'm saying? I'm tall. It is what it is. So I could see how she might think that this girl is 18, 19 when she might only be 14 and laying on the table and all that shit. I mean, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Stained in Utero says, same with me. I'm 5'11" and a female, so I understand exactly. Like you start developing, so especially a tall girl, when we're tall, we're growing, we're going to grow faster in every aspect, not just in height. A lot of times, the rest of our body is developing early as well. So I could see how she could mistake that and then make the connection later. Like, wait, what? That wasn't, you weren't old enough? I thought all this time, that kind of thing. So anyway, let's listen.
Also, you saying Diddy and Nelly was in bed together?
He's had a threesome with Diddy and Nelly. Yeah, it's the same Jane Doe. This Jane Doe was around from 11 years old to about 15 years old. Had bore 2 kids. I'm not gonna say which one she believe are hers that he's been raising. You know what? On a side note, where is the white girl? Where's the white girl that he adopted?
He didn't adopt her, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to. Now, see here in this case, I'm not gonna say that she's lying about this girl. I think that she believes what the blogs have said about the girl. This girl is not his daughter. That live was just a joke. This girl has been best friends with those twins since they were itty bitties. Like, I'm talking 5, 6 years old, itty bitty, all the way to now. I've seen recent pictures and even lives of her. And I think someone else was in here. My name is not girl. Was it you? Somebody in here had said that they also had been on her page on TikTok, but that page is gone. But the girl is, it was just a joke. You know what I'm saying? So she was not, she was never adopted, but I understand that with all this other weird shit we're hearing and all the stuff we're hearing about kids and all of this stuff, it's easy to say, what happened to her? You know, because you're only getting bits and pieces. So the girl was never adopted. The girl is still with her family. Her parents are super rich. That's how they became acquainted with the twins in the first place. And they went to school together. They were in ballet together. I've seen pictures. This is why I know about the ballet and all this shit. This girl been around these folks forever. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, or was it the lady 747? Somebody in here said that they also has seen her and were like, yeah, they were on her TikTok, and yeah, she's rich and she's just fine, and yeah, she is not missing. Okay.
I got asked about that today earlier in the
Where
interview.
is
I think
she?
her name is Ava Combs.
Where is she? They said, oh, the twins are
I don't
staying
know.
with one of Kamara's friends, Kim Porter, whoever. The son's been in New York and back and forth to LA. Where's the white girl that they was online bragging and proud that they saved her life and everything? Where is the white girl?
She disappeared.
Ava. Where's Ava? I won't call her the white girl. Shout out to my white people.
Exactly.
My mom's
Ava
half
Combs.
white. I love white people. I'm white. It's white in me. Where's Ava? Everybody, can we do a campaign? Everybody, hashtag where's Ava?
Where's Ava? We need to get some shirts made too.
Right. Where's Ava? Mask, all that. Booty shorts. We can twerk to it. All that. You know what I'm saying? I got you.
Man.
That's to be continued.
Boy, you done gave us some jaw dropping information so far, man. This is whoa.
Like Black
Whoa.
Rob. Shout out to Black Rob. Whoa.
Now tell us a little bit about how he ended up putting you with Jacob the Jeweler, and tell us how that Jacob the Jeweler story went down.
Yeah, so the first party I did, it was above board, you know, it was on network. Excuse me, I saw everybody. I was there front line, like, you know, I was calling back home to the Cali people, like, hey, you'll never believe this, like, for real, like, and then next party, it was like, yeah, you want to rap, you want to sing, right? You dance at the club, right? He started out like he was pointing me in the right direction. Because, everybody's been to the strip club, and every girl that's been a stripper knows you love the guys that come in, and if they're not the ones spending money, they point you to their homeboy that is. Have you ever seen a bachelor party come in and they be like, it's not me, but get him. He's the one paying for everybody. So it was kind of like he did that. Like he took the mindset that I had of being a dancer of like, while you at my parties, I'm gonna point you in the right direction. You take care of them and I'm gonna put you on. That's how I understood it. Coercion of the heart. And because I wanted to be on so bad, and he was actually real, Puffy. It wasn't like it was Puffy's assistant. It was like real Puffy saying it. I believed it. And I'm like, I had already been manipulated by Jake Steed and did, movies that got me nowhere. I was dancing at Larry Friend's Hustler Club only because me and Anthony Gallo had got robbed for everything. And it was go back to Cali, broke with everybody laughing, or you start dancing. That's how I ended up starting to dance. I'm dancing. We have a nice lifestyle. We got a doorman building, you know what I mean? But Diddy said, I just got to basically do the same thing I've already done that's got me nowhere, and it's going to get me somewhere.
Fire and Ice, hey, I don't disagree with you. Fire and Ice said, hey, V, I don't have any proof, but I've been having a strange feeling about what he could have sexually done to his children. But I also have a strong feeling that he may have touched Quincy. I find it hard to believe that he didn't touch any of the kids. If he's that type of dude, it would not surprise me. And that's what I keep saying. It's just, and people keep saying, well, but they're really going hard for their dad. Let me tell you something about kids who have been mishandled in that way. It causes a conflicting feeling in them, because a lot of times the way in which the person is able to get close to the kid and get them to do some of these crazy, disgusting things and inappropriate things is because they groom them. The kid loves them. The kid trusts them, right? And so there's love for this person that has now done something to you. You know what I mean? And so now you're trying to figure out, especially if it's a young kid. The kids they may know it may not be right, but they love the person, or they want acceptance from that same person. And then you got a situation where they're saying, possibly, allegedly, that Quincy could have been drugged, as well. So who knows what's really going on there? But I do think it's hard to believe that these kids have not been touched. And I would think that we're over here talking about some daughters that might be Diddy's kids, and he might have touched them. Why wouldn't he touch the kids that ain't his? You know what I'm saying? That right there in this house. And we already said he liked white boys and light-skinned boys. Why wouldn't he do something to Justin and Quincy? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit is wild. And I also think that, Al B Show came out here and said that, his concerns about Quincy's safety and that he could come home. And I think he thought in his eyes, or in his mind, well, if Diddy's locked up, maybe Quincy will come back. But the thing about an abuser, just because the abuser is not in proximity physically, they still are in proximity mentally, and they still have a hold on him. And somebody as rich and powerful as Diddy in jail, he can probably still instill fear in those kids. For all we know, the kids are doing what they feel they need to do to stay safe, because they've been told to. You know what I mean? Like, child, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's so many things that could be happening. It's all jacked up. It's just all fucked up. Seriously, it is, Anywho, y'all.
Coercion of the heart, I was with it. But then as he kept adding on, so that night I was asked to wear a black dress at a white party, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like, he always supplied the uniform. That's another thing. In the Vibe magazine, let me go back to Vibe magazine real quick. I never signed a release. I wasn't paid anything. I didn't even know I was going to be in Vibe magazine. I woke up to Anthony getting a phone call from one of his model homeboys, like, hey, your girl in Vibe magazine, because back then, when a new story or a new campaign came out, it was on the newsstand and everybody went out to get it. It was an East Coast thing, because in Cali, we didn't do shit like that. Nobody rushed out to get the latest magazine, but in New York, they did that shit. So we had just had the night before, so we laying in the bed naked, and I wake up to him smushing my head in the pillow, like, what the fuck you doing in Vibe magazine? I'm like, what? I'm in Vibe magazine, like, what? He was like, yeah, Nelly just called. That's his homeboy, Zanell. Shout out to Zanell. He went on doing a lot of stuff with Diddy, Zanell, Figueroa, I don't know. Yeah. But he was like, yeah. So I'm like, what? He's like, so we got jumped up with our clothes on, doorman opened up the door for us. Right there was a newsstand, Diddy's on the cover on the boxing gym, you know what I mean? Gloves or whatever. We opened up, flipped to it, and there I am. That picture that you see, big as day. I had no idea. That picture was taken in 2004. They didn't run a story to 2006. I had no idea that they put in there, Diddy supplied the clothing. Then they put the caption, guest strikes a revealing pose. I wasn't a guest. Who would I be a guest of? Who knew me? You know what I mean? Mary J. Blige say, come on, Sheree. And then if I am a guest, the audacity of me thinking I could just come in some little ass go-go shorts and a bikini top to somebody's exclusive white party with all kind of millionaires, and I'm a guest of who? But I'm their guest, and I'm gonna just show up like that, not a nice elegant gown or nothing. I'm gonna just show up all hoochie mama. No, I was on his event staff, but that's how they got away with putting me in there without trying to give me no employee credit, right? And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vibe magazine, and so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me because they took advantage of me after they drew me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly. I'm not gonna...
And there's it too. See, this is why I'm believing her more. I'm believing her a little more because, well, let's listen.
Someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back just so y'all catch it.
Right. And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vibe magazine, and so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me because they took advantage of me after they drew me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not gonna say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me. including certain
Whoa.
people that are presidential.
Boom. Boom. Now she's saying that not, and this is why people keep, another reason why people keep thinking, oh, she's talking about Obama. Oh, is she talking about the Clintons? No, she's not. She's really not. She's talking about this. She's talking about this bitch ass. This bitch ass motherfucker right here. That's who she's talking about. Okay. The one that's been at multiple of his parties and who has been photographed with this dude forever. And is the reason why people believe that he might pardon this motherfucker. I don't think he'll pardon him at all. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Donald Trump is for himself. So even if they both did things together, it would be easier to keep all of that suppressed by simply either A, leaving him in prison temporarily until he's Epsteined like Epstein, or if he were to let him out, trust me, he still wouldn't live long after that either. I do not believe it. But I do believe this motherfucker was there. And I believe her that he did some shit. And I do believe the FBI knows. And I do believe, though, because he is presidential again, I guess, that the FBI has concealed things for years. For years. Including, oh gosh, including people we love. They kept stories hidden for at least a period of time. They released tapes later. You can put two and two together. I just do not wish to speak on someone we love and who has changed our lives and will be forever remembered for the work they've done. But still, they kept that shit hidden for a while. I do not believe that this man would benefit by pardoning Diddy. If anything at all, he would let him sit in there, rot, and find a way to rid of him. And the FBI would probably conceal it or not release the details of it. Now that and this is what I'm saying post-election. Prior to the election, let's say he lost, FBI might go full blast on his ass because he's already committed treason by inciting an insurrection. So I just don't think that, and that's what I'm saying. Did Epstein stick around? Mm-mm. And what year did Epstein pass away? What year was that? If somebody can look that up, put that in the chat, because that might also tell us too why he disappeared when he did too. But I'm just saying. But let's listen.
Presidential.
No, we're talking about Diddy. We're gonna come back to that. LB, stay with me. We don't go any further until we get the result.
Man.
Hey, but anyway,
we get the result.
Once I found that out, I've been living my life for the last 20 years not knowing that had even happened to me. And now because they found out that I know that I'm on them tapes with them doing that to me, these are people that have smiled in my face since then. I had no idea that. But if there's a certain way the tape is going to come out, and there's a certain way that it never will. You got to stay tuned.
Did that scare you? Like, were you scared when the feds advised you that, there was some pretty high profile people doing some crazy things to you?
It angered me, actually, because, I went in, under the presumption that we were all working together to make the, event hot. And I was doing my part as a hired entertainer to bring my West Coast vibes and to make, the part. And I was always complimented. That's why I kept being invited back. When there was multiple, girls all around the city, all around the tri-state, you go up and down the East Coast, you can get a girl in from Boston, Connecticut.
And that's my point, Danielle. So just as Trump was president when Epstein went into prison and he didn't come out, and he did not pardon Epstein, what would make anybody think he would pardon this nigga? A racist at that. Why would anybody think that motherfucker would allow this nigga to have that kind of information and proof over his head. Nah, my nigga. Mm-mm. Ain't going for it. So this foolishness that people think he would pardon him because he has something over him ain't no different. Don't you think Epstein has shit on him? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did Jersey real quick, but they kept rehiring me because I made that shit hot, and I was, I was genuine, naive, and I was like a fan, and they played on it. I didn't realize how pretty I was, and they took advantage. And he likes to steal your light. He's an energy vampire. He steals your light. He takes a piece of you, and then he infuses the devil seed in you from him, and puts a little evil from him into you that you can never take out of you. It's like soul ties. I want to be hypnotized, actually. I want to be hypnotized, and I want y'all to tell me what I said and what I did while I was under.
That's what I'm talking. That part right there. That is why I said this shit reminds me of Nesto. Remember, Nesto told who was it? One of the victims. He told them, "You have to be me when I'm not here, and in order for you to be me when I'm not here, I'm going to have to see you in you." Now, doesn't that sound like this? Doesn't that sound like that's what Diddy was doing too? Now that's what I don't think this lady is following the Nesto story. I don't think she got this idea from Nesto, but I do think that Diddy was doing that shit too. And that's one of the ways in which he was keeping control, not only over the women he was doing this to, but the men as well. Making them perform acts on him, drugging them, because he was, in fact, drugging men as well as women. He wasn't just drugging the women. He was drugging some of these men as well, and they were being forced to do these things. So this is exactly what we were talking about at the beginning. I couldn't remember if it was this part or the second part. But I think the shit is real. And I think that this is one of their rituals that ties those victims back to the perpetrator and the predator, and keeps that predator in control of them. It's sick as fuck.
Now, what you were telling me about Diddy, that kind of reminds me of that movie. I don't know if you ever seen it, Rosemary's Baby.
I never saw it. What happens in that?
Well, basically, this lady, man, this is back in the 60s. This is a really dope movie, though. But they moved into this brand new apartment, and the husband's an actor. So in order for him to advance his career, he has to do demonic, satanic stuff in order to advance his career. So one of the things he sacrificed was his wife, and he allowed these demons and devils to impregnate his wife, so that way she can have the devil's baby.
And that's what's going on within the Hollywood and the music industry, and that's why people are leaving the country and everything, because that's what they do, is practice in satanic and demonic activity. That's why when they're blessed with the highest status, the most money, the best cars, the best food, the best everything, they choose to spend their time on a daily basis doing evil, not doing good, not going around to the homeless shelters for single moms, the single mom shelters, and saying, I'm gonna pick 3 women who ride the bus every day, who got 3 kids or more. 3 kids, three women getting cars today.
You know what's ironic about the fact that Rosemary's Baby, which I never saw, and I didn't even know that was the premise of it. I knew it was related to, I knew that Rosemary's Baby was the devil's baby, but I didn't know the concept behind the story until I saw this interview. And the irony in all that is Mia Farrow was married to Woody, I'm about to say Woody Harrelson, Jesus. Woody, y'all help me, child, my brain. Okay. I got 54-year-old menopause brain, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Her husband, Woody Allen. Thank you very much. The Tea Lounge. So Woody Allen, she's married to Woody Allen, right? Not Nelson. Would you say Miss Apple Pie? Not Woody Nelson. Not you talking about Willie Nelson? No. Woody Allen, who was a director and actor, right? He was a freakazoid. His ass. So they adopted, I think, 2 kids in particular, and one of the kids they adopted, a little Asian girl that they raised from the time she was a baby. He ends up having an affair with her, and later, I want to say, leaves Mia for the daughter. His daughter, back to that shit I was saying earlier. I don't give a fuck about blood. Family is family. And in this particular case, I guess some folks, not like us, okay? Some folks have been able to justify, oh, well, he, wasn't his daughter, but she was a child. She was a child when he first started having an affair with the girl, and then left Mia for the girl. It's fucked up. But isn't it ironic that I want to say he directed that movie. Let me see. I'll look that up while we listen. But I believe he may have even directed that damn movie. And I just think that shit is nasty. And ironic that's happening in that movie with real life people, and not, but on some level, it's still demonic to me. If you are touching kids and doing shit like that, it's nasty, it's demonic. That is not of God. So therefore it must be of the devil. So, excuse me, the fact that shit's really happening, it's crazy. But anywho, let's listen.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wake up and go to the women's shelter, and they say you have a good report, and you ride the bus every day to get to work, and you paying your kids daycare and all that. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Just, I don't want no press. You won't even know I did it. I said I want to wake up every day doing shit like that. A Gucci bag. I don't need a bag to fix my teeth. My teeth already straight. I need a bag to fix my streets and to save souls. That's my goal. As I look back on it, now everything is coming out, I would almost say Jacob might be a victim himself, because he already did that time back then for helping laundering that money. That's not allegedly. He did time. So now he's back in a twist that involves, Diddy and his association, and his wife was there that night. And maybe Diddy set it all up and lined it all up so he can get footage on him to blackmail him, use me, have me thinking I'm gonna come out, and maybe like Jacob is but it did go down. My dress was flipped up. They had me wear a black dress that night when everybody else was wearing white. They put Tamiko in the pink dress. She was the one passing all the money and doing all the back and forth, almost like a handler or a wrangler. And I got an extra $1,000 that night when I did the extras. That's when I thought, okay, if I just do the extras, like eventually it's going to be an end to the rainbow and I'm going to be home.
So was it just $1,000 the whole night, or was it like $1,000 per person, or how did that work?
Yeah, I only got 500.
He wasn't. He was never charged with any crime that I know of. That shit just got. That's what I'm saying. These people, there's a lot of shit that's happening right in front of our eyes, and we don't even realize it. And because they do it in the open, it's like hiding shit in the open. Because they do that, they're able to get folks who will say, oh, that didn't happen. That's stupid. That couldn't be possible. Or sometimes they lure in people that they know won't come across as credible to others. It's easy. Like a lot of people don't believe this lady. And I get it. There, you have reason, you may have your own reasons why you don't believe her. But here she is. She's already working at this point as a stripper. During this time, a lot of times strippers they're not as respected. People think, oh, well, if you're stripping, you must be down with the freak shit. And they may not be. But it's easier for us to think they are. And I'd be the first one to say I'd be thinking it. I'm thinking if you could open yourself up to be butt ass naked and spread an eagle in front of strangers and let motherfuckers touch you and don't tell me the shit about they don't get touched, because I'm gonna tell you. I went to a strip club one day and I was literally, when I tell you, I was blown the fuck away. I could not believe. I left there a little disturbed. Not because, look, people go all the time. They don't think nothing of it. I get it. I went I was with I don't want to say who, but it was a group of friends, and it mostly they were men, and it was three women, and they were like, they kind of wrangled me. They're like, yeah, you going with us? And I was like, where are we going? You just going, just be ready, you going with us. We weren't in town, we were out of town. And right before we were about to go, because I'm like, well, where are we going? How do I need dressed? They like, it don't matter. You're like, where we going? It ain't gonna matter what you got. I was like, what? So they were like, we going to the strip club. I was like, I ain't going no damn like, it's scared. I'm gonna tell you, this is how I was scared. I was in my mind. I was like, now at this point, I'm damn near 40. Okay. I'm in my late 30s. Okay. I'm damn near 40, grown. I'm like, I ain't going no damn strip club. Like, to me, that just kind of the idea of it. It's just not who I am. So I'm like, what you mean? They're like, you going. So one of the women, because it was only 3 girls that went, and the rest were guys. And they weren't like dudes we were dating. They were, I don't want to say how I knew these people, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to put it out there like that. But nevertheless, they were like, we going. And we went. And I had always been, because I was always under the impression that even though I knew that, you know, the women are dancing around, and now let me go back. I had been to male reviews. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to act like I had never been to a male review. I have been to at least 3 or 4. Okay. I had, but never, this was going to a the strip club, you know, for women, where women were dancing. I'm like, I don't want to see no bitches dancing, like the fuck. And it just freaked me out to even think about it, to be quite honest. Actually, when I went to the male reviews, I was always that chick was like, don't touch me. You stay over there. Like, go over there to her. Like, I sit in the back. I don't want them coming over here to me. Now, I don't mind looking at you over there. But even the thought of being with a person doing that would be like, no, I can't even imagine. But no matter how fine they are. But it was always kind of fun and funny to go. So I had gone. But a actual strip club with the women, I'm like, well, I ain't going to do that. But the story had always been to me that, you can't touch the women at the strip club. Because, guys will be like, oh, well, it ain't like you can touch them. You can't touch them. I was like, well, obviously you can, because don't they have these champagne rooms? I watch the movies. Don't they have champagne rooms? And don't shit happen in the champagne room for extra? That's what happens in the damn movies. Okay, that's what I thought. So y'all ain't gonna tell me you can't touch them. But nevertheless, that was always the narrative. No, you can't touch them. They'll put you out, this, that, and the other, and whatever. Okay, fine. We get there. And let's just say they touched her. Couple of the dudes touched her. They did more than touch her. I was so done. I was so disgusted. I could not. I'm not going to go into details. You can let your imagination do whatever it does. All I'm saying is they touched her in ways I should never have known that they were touching her. And, yeah. So I just because a woman is in that type of aspect or that type of work, we will jump to conclusions about what they'll be down with. And so I say that to say, if they are working in that industry, it's easy for them to think that they can mistreat said woman and do whatever. I'm not saying that's what this they weren't mistreating the girl. They didn't do nothing she didn't want done, I guess. I'm just saying. She was down with it. I was so undown with it. I had to leave because I could not. And I wasn't driving and I still had to leave. Okay. I just couldn't. I was like, oh my God, this is nasty. This is nasty. I can't believe that this is happening. And it was just too much. But the point is this: people will think that they can do whatever they want to certain people, because when you come out here and start telling the truth about it, then you may not be believed, because people say, well, you was already a freak, or you're nasty anyway, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that could be the case here with this girl. She's already a stripper. She's being hired to come and do freaky shit. You got a girl that's laying on a table. Let's say she's of age. Just because she's butt ass naked, laying on a table, and people are eating off of her and all kinds of shit, that might mean to some, oh, well, she down with whatever. If they start doing stuff to her, then it is what it is. I'm just saying, they use that to their benefit, because they know the public may not believe her, or they can say things or do things to prove, oh, that's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, let's listen.
To do the go-go dancing. So when it was above board, the first party just made $500 plus the experience, networking, all that. When I did the extras, I got my 500 plus 1,000. But next party, it was 3 niggas. The next party was 7 niggas, and I still was only getting my 500, allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
So no extras, no extra 1,000 and any of that. It was just 500.
He was getting the extras, allegedly. They were shooting him the $100,000 chain. They were shooting him the keys to the yacht. They were shooting him the penthouse. They were shooting him the awards, while I was sucking in the fucking allegedly.
Now, what was your boyfriend's reaction? Because was he at some of those events, or were you just there?
He went to a couple, but he wasn't privy, because I didn't tell him. I didn't want him to know I was doing that shit. But if he did know, Diddy and him had told him, and he would just, maybe he had a side deal. But he knew I was in the game. He knew I was a dancer. He knew I was networking. He knew if the
hold on, Danielle, you touching on something here. I never understood why people loved Elvis. Priscilla was 13 when they met. Actually, she was 12. She moved in his home when she was 15. She was 14. She lived in Germany when they met. He had met her he had seen her a couple times when he'd go over there, because his manager at the time was friends with the parents of Priscilla. Supposedly, I'm not going to say allegedly what I'm about to say now. He supposedly offered the parents, to offer her a great life. She can come live in his home. She'll have the best of tutors and whatnot. And that he wasn't going to be dating her until she was 18, which was all a lie. I believe that those parents knew what the hell they were doing. I think Elvis paid that family, sold their daughter, sent Priscilla to live with him, and they were together from the time she moved in that house at 14 until they divorced. So yes, Danielle, you're absolutely correct. And let me say this. I was in love with Elvis as a child. I too was in love with Elvis. He died in 1977 when I was 7, and I was mad at my mother because she would not let me go to his funeral, and I didn't understand. I was in love with Elvis. I didn't know at the time that I was 7, but anyway. And Blue Hawaii is my favorite Elvis Presley movie of all times. But as I got older and I started learning more about Elvis and how abusive he was as well, he wasn't just a drug addict. He wasn't just a pedophile, but he was also very abusive. And he was very abusive to women and even his friends and men, child. A whole mess. What'd you say? My name is not girl said, yuck. I had a crush on the monkey. Oh my God, the monkeys. Yeah, I remember they had a show. The monkeys. I felt like the monkeys were a better looking version of the Beatles. The Beatles were ugly as hell to me. And I never loved their music. And I know that there are a lot of people that, look, I got musician friends, obviously. Y'all know some of them, and they really respect the Beatles as artists and whatnot. I just never, I like to hear the remakes of their songs by our artists, but I never liked them. But nevertheless, yeah, I used to love Elvis. And then as I got older, learning more about him, was like, wow. And he was slightly racist. A lot of people don't even realize that, because while at times he was very friendly with some black folks, and he was still stealing our music and stealing our style and things, but he was also, he had his background singers that were 3 black women. He fired them multiple times, fire and hire. He's very abusive. He took a pool ball one time and threw it at a woman in his home because he was high out of his brain. Child, these people are crazy as hell. Anyway.
Money's there, go get it. But he wasn't like pimping me or anything or saying, go get it. He was my boyfriend.
Now, with all this information that you're putting out, many people are wondering why would you come out with this information now versus.
Well, when I moved back after they jumped me in Harlem in December 2009, I had to move back abruptly to California. After Anthony Gallo was cheating on me with Rihanna and Megan Good and all his model bitches. After Diddy and all them had me jumped in Harlem. After I left Anthony, got my own spot in Harlem, they had me jump. Dude, my same Jane Doe I was telling you about, that actual Mark, Diddy's attorney, signed us out because she was in the mental hospital at the same time. And I heard, now that we're back like Voltron connecting, I'm fine.
So that's the thing too. So she said, also out of a mental institution. This kind of shit will make somebody crazy. And then that's what they will also use against you, that you crazy. You can't believe her, she crazy. You can't believe her, she got a drug problem. You can't believe her, you know what I'm saying? She's a stripper. She's a whore. She's a whole prostitute. You can't believe her. So prostitutes can also be violated. And that's the thing. A lot of people will think, oh, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? You decided to be in that situation. Like, you asked for it. And that's sad. But anyway, they use that kind of shit against you.
Finding out that Diddy's attorney, Mark, doped her up a gang of times because they took her out the country a gang of times, allegedly. But she about to pop out with her name in her lawsuit.
So as far as your legal proceedings, where are you at now with your lawsuit?
Right now, I'm in consultations with new legal. Legal. I have until December 11th to assign a new attorney to my case. I'm taking my time. I'm in consultations with very big, high-profile attorneys. I'm working on the settlement, so I can pop out with my new attorneys who help me settle. Because I already know as soon as the criminal starts in May of 2025, all civil cases are going to go on stay anyway. So I'm working on settling mine because I already know I'm going to be called into the criminal. So that's where I'm at with it. Everybody thinks that I'm in some type of disarray because I haven't popped out, or, it's been said that, my people, withdrew, and that's, a withdrawal was because of fire. I want to give it too much attention, but somebody was being fired, and that's why they publicly withdrew, to try to hurry up and save face and look like they left, because they were running around doing press and admissions that I had not made or authorized, and I'm the client.
So that's making me think. That's why I want to know if it's Ariel. I think that Ariel lady was her luck. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the thing, Danielle. I think that Ariel could have been the woman, because remember, Ariel was doing a whole lot of fucking press, talking about her client this, her client that, and this is what she learned, and this is what she knew, and blah, blah, this and that. Ariel looks to me like a clout chaser, period. And so then I feel like Eric, because here's the other thing. Chris Todd told Nyla during that second interview, 2 weeks ago, whatever, that he is the person who put Ariel with Courtney. And I think the three of them are in it together on some shit. So that's another reason why I believe this girl, because I don't believe Ariel. I think Ariel's on some bullshit. I just do. Now, again, do I have proof? Not yet, not now, but I don't trust her. I do believe that Courtney person gets his shit wrong constantly. And that's why she has had to try to clean up even some of his stories. When they left the court that day, why were there two microphones out there? Why, or one microphone and two outlets out there? Who would even know they would have been there to deal with some shit, to meet with the grand jury? It's secret. If it's a secret proceeding, why would anybody know about it? That's what makes me doubt whether or not he really did testify in front of the grand jury. That's why I was trying to ask Pam last week. I was like, Pam, if they lied about that, could he get in trouble for it? Because I'm sure Ariel knows, like, they could come out here and say anything. Oh, yeah, maybe I can go out. Like, I wonder, could I go out right now and tell the world that I testify in front of a grand jury? Could I really get in trouble for saying that? Like, I don't even know that you can. Like, FBI is busy. They ain't got no time. They don't give a shit about what you lying about. But if you lie to them, then it's a problem. If you did actually testify in front of the grand jury, I've never heard nobody coming out here telling it. I've never heard of a person testifying before the grand jury and then walking out the doors telling everybody what they just did. I've never ever heard of that shit ever in life. So I do not believe that man testified in front of the grand jury. I do not believe anything he said. He has already been proven to be a liar. He also appears to be a clout chaser. Ariel also seems to be a clout chaser. And I'd already said from the get-go that Chris Todd was on some bullshit. So I believe all of them are doing what they do. But that Ariel had enough information probably from this girl right here to believe that she could take some of what she learned there, maybe some things she's learned elsewhere, and combined with Chris Todd, and they're all working together. That's just what I think. That's my opinion. I don't have any proof of it. That's what I believe. Okay. But let's finish this up.
I can have as many or as little attorneys as I want. And if I feel like I'm being ignored or not paid attention to, and I want to hire additional representation, that's my prerogative. That is not for somebody to control me and tell me I can't and run around doing press that they're not even letting me do. We're not even doing press together. So yeah, just let that go. And now I got my own legal strategy. And worst case scenario, I go in there and represent my damn self, because the press alone will be great. I don't care if I win or lose, because I've been rich. My daddy just died, LAPD. I got an inheritance.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Imagine me in court. Imagine me in federal court representing myself, LB. I'll just have you there. LB, I need you to cover it, LB. You know, that's some shits and giggles on the gang. Mustard on that beat, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, tell DJ Mustard to call me, because I want them to bring me out February 2025 in New Orleans on stage when Kendrick's performing West Coast. We up. Just let me say mustard on that beat, huh?
I don't know if this is a rumor or if it's something that was just on the internet. You were married to Al B Shore's son, or no?
No, Quincy. We're flirting right now. We met and we're fancying each other. And what better way to get at his daddy, who killed his mother allegedly, than to date the woman that's about to take all his money?
How you gonna have a relationship with Quincy? You know Quincy loves Mr. Combs, man.
He trapped in the middle, and he been doped up his whole life. Imagine if you've been getting dope out the bottle.
Now, isn't that possible? Again, I don't know that to be true, but it sure wouldn't make. It would surprise me at this point. This is what I'm talking about. The shit we have heard about Diddy, what we do believe him to be capable of, what we do believe that he may have done. Why are we to believe that these kids, not victims as well? Especially Quincy, because I want to say, let me think about this. Who's older? I've always thought in my mind Quincy was older, but the truth is Justin might be older than Quincy. Who's older, y'all? That's what I need to figure out, who's older. But what I will say is this: I do not believe that any of those kids have been free from all forms of abuse. I think there's some level of abuse. So Quincy is older. I still believe that Quincy has been a victim in some way. And even if right now it's just a matter of being manipulated, Diddy has helped him develop a career. Excuse me. He was on Star. He was, he's got music out. I think he's about to drop some more music or whatever. For whatever reason, he still keeps a distance from his dad to some degree. I'm sure all that shit is difficult. I don't know. I've heard people say some really evil things about what they think about I'll Be Sure. I'll Be Sure is a bitch, and I'll Be Sure. Sometimes I think that people need to really be careful about shit like that, because sometimes a parent does what a parent feels is going to keep their kid safest. You don't know what that man may have threatened I'll Be Sure with when it comes to Quincy. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Like, when people saw that the post that was on Quincy's wall about, from the kids, and saying my mom was not unalived by Diddy, that anybody who claims to be a friend of my mom would never do this, that, and the other. I don't know that Quincy wrote that shit or any of the kids. I feel like a PR team did. I believe that they don't have the ability to make any real decisions for themselves. I believe that the same with Misa. I feel like Misa has gone back and forth. One minute she mad at Diddy, the next minute she's taking up for shit. It's kind of weird, but sometimes a parent does what they think is going to keep their child safe. And even though Diddy is in prison, that doesn't mean the kids are safe from him. This man he's still rich. Look, I'm not going to claim to know everybody's anybody's financial situation in this chat, but I'm going to guess. And there's a great chance that none of us have the type of money, or most of us anyway, don't have the type of money that Diddy has had access to, nor do we have the network that Diddy has had. And when I say network, I don't mean the legitimate rich folks out here and their network. I mean some of that underworld shit that he has been involved in. Anybody who we believe could have unalived all kinds of folks right in front of our fucking eyes and get away with it. Why would we believe that he wouldn't still have some of access to some of these same people? I bet a lot of people are scared, and that's why you haven't heard a lot of people saying shit about it. I still ain't heard no celebrities really come out here and standing on anything, really saying this man is not guilty. And I know my friend and I know who he is. The only fool I've seen really do that is Stevie J. And why? Because he got the same shit to lose, because from what I understand, allegedly, he's partially to blame too. He's been out here doing all this fool-ish with these women and men and kids as well. So they say allegedly. And so he too is, what else is he going to do? The only money and anything he's had was through his association with Diddy. We learned about him on Love and Hip Hop because of his associations with Diddy. So I just, anyway, what you say, Starfish and Coffee. OJ's kids got free when he died. OJ's kids were never afraid of OJ because OJ had never done anything for them to be afraid of. I do not believe, and you can believe what you want, I do not believe OJ Simpson did what they say he did. I don't believe it. Because if they could have, they would have thrown him up under the bus, up under the jail, up under the prison. When it was proven time after time after time how the LAPD did everything they could to frame that man too. They brought blood to the crime site. They took his blood. They went over there. They have proof of it. That's why the DNA did not match up correctly. So you can have you can agree, or you can disagree with me. The court of law doesn't disagree with me. And I think that that's why he ended up going to jail later, because white folks don't like to hear or think that this nigga got away with something that they wanted to put on him in the first place. Why would OJ might have beat her ass? Now that he can be an asshole. He was a straight up and down asshole, if you ask me. Yes, he did put his hands on her. But there were times he went over there. Let me say this real quick, too, since you brought that up. OJ had gone to Nicole was a hoe. Now, she has every right to be a hoe. If she wants to be a hoe, she can be a hoe, okay? She was a hoe just like Kris Jenner was a hoe, okay? They were hoes. They do what hoes do. They fuck around. But Nicole was a hoe after she was divorced to OJ. And there was one day in particular that OJ had called her out with people and that kind of thing. He never whooped her ass about that particularly. But what did happen was one day he went over to the house and the kids were upstairs asleep and she was downstairs in the living room sucking on something. Okay? All right. They were in the living room and she was with some other dude, some white man that was over there with her, and she's sucking on something. And OJ saw that shit and he was pissed because he said, I don't give a fuck what you do, but my kids upstairs, and any one of them could come downstairs and seen that shit. Now, if he didn't kill her that night, why would he have killed her the night he did? You know what I'm saying? If you believe that he killed her, why did he do it on that night? He didn't know that she was going to come home from the restaurant and that Ron was going to come back because she left her glasses. Look, I remember this trial. I watched that trial. I watched it when it was happening. Ron Goldman came to the house because she had left her sunglasses at the restaurant. He brought it over there. How could OJ know that he was going to come back and bring some glasses? OJ had a whole flight to catch. It is impossible for him to have committed a double unaliving in the fashion in which it was done. Ron is a 20-something-year-old man, and OJ was damn near 50 with bad ass knees and arthritis. And you want me to believe, they want y'all to believe that he was able to commit an unaliving of two people by using a knife? Do you know how much strength and effort that it would take to do that to two people and then get home? You none of your blood is anywhere but a couple of droplets of blood. He's able to get all the way home. He's able to shower, rid of all the clothes, get all the blood gone, and still make it in time for his limo driver to pick him up, even 15 minutes late, because the driver didn't have to wait. Hell, you come pick me up right now. I ain't killed nobody, and I'm still gonna be late. Okay, I might have your ass waiting 15 minutes too, and I ain't killed nobody. So he gets home. It takes him all that. He gets all the way. No, y'all need to go back and check it. That man ain't killed them folks. But because the country was just livid at the fact that this black man was able to get off after y'all done tried to paint it. You got dirty ass cops who have been proven to be dirty ass cops who had already set up black men prior to OJ. You mean to tell me you don't think that if they could have put that man under the jail, they would have? They couldn't, because he didn't do it. They didn't have any evidence to prove it. Why? Because the glove didn't fit, so they had to acquit. Don't play with me. That's ridiculous. So because the country was in an uproar that this nigga had gotten off on this shit, that they did so much work to try to get him locked up, they found another way to get him. They put this man in jail this time. He goes to prison for what, 7 years? For stealing his shit that was stolen from him. You better make this shit make sense. So I say it again. He ain't killed nobody, but he's still an asshole that didn't kill that woman and that man. That's all I got to say about that shit. Okay. Anyway, we down to the last 2 minutes and a half, y'all. Let's play this out. Okay.
Allegedly.
All right. Thank you so much, man, for coming on the Lionel B Show, man. You gave us so much information.
Man, I love
out there.
you. I love
Anything
you.
else you want to add to the viewers?
I mean,
wait a minute. My name is not girl, baby. Have you, I don't know if you don't know this, but this is America and it's a racist ass fucking country. They were trying their best to put that man in prison. And even still, he also, you think that it's impossible that even though he was divorced from the woman and even though he put his hands on it, he didn't feel a way about seeing her dead? Like, it's very possible that he did love that girl. Explain this to me. He was abusive with her because, sometimes what you allow somebody to get away with, the next one won't. His wife before him said he ain't never raised a hand at her. He never once abused her, but he did abuse Nicole. But nobody believed that his ass killed her. Why? Why would he kill her? What does he have to gain by killing her and this boy that he didn't even know was coming over there? It doesn't make any good sense. So if you know the system and you know that they're trying to paint you out to be a way and you're distraught that this woman you love is dead and now they're saying you killed her, I don't know what you might do. And unless you're in that situation, I don't know what I would do. Do you know what you would do? It's easy for us to say what we might do, but I don't know. I don't know why he did. I think he was scared. I think he was distraught. I think he was hurt. But I don't, there's no evidence. It's a theory. What you have is a theory. He cheated on her. Okay, so does that mean he didn't love her? Have you met a man before? Because a nigga will fuck anything moving. It doesn't mean he don't love somebody. I don't know if you ain't never been with a man, but I know some men. And I know that they got dicks. And the ones I know with dicks, they will fuck. And if you will spread your legs, he will fuck. Okay? But it doesn't mean he don't love his wife. It doesn't mean he'll kill you just because he fucks on you. You see what I'm saying? One doesn't have to mean the other. I know a whole lot of cheaters ain't never killed nobody. It just doesn't make sense. There's nothing about the evidence that proved that this man committed a murder. Nothing. Not one thing. I'm just saying. And that's why they couldn't put him in the jail. Okay? They just couldn't do it. They wanted to do it. They couldn't. And that's why I have trouble when people, because I think people going on theory. Wait, what you say? You don't love me if you cheat on me. Okay, baby. All right. Look, I'm not saying you put up with it. I'm saying one does not mean the other. I got news for you. Them cheating on you doesn't mean they don't love you. Doesn't mean you should put up with it. But it doesn't mean they don't love you. Because they have dicks. That's all I'm saying. Okay? The dick thinks for them, not the brain. They don't think with their brain. They think with their dick. And that's the problem. You see. But baby, you're gonna have to let that one go. Okay? I'm just saying. And cheating and killing don't mean the same. Just because you cheat on me don't mean you'll kill me either. I mean, really? If that was the case, be a whole bunch of dead bitches around here right now. Okay? Because I got news for you. Everybody here who deals with a man has been cheated on at some point in their life, whether you know it or not. But you still living to tell it. I'm just saying. Okay, let's listen, y'all.
And I love Lionel B. I was already a fan. I appreciate you taking the time and acknowledging me and popping me out. I look forward to more interviews as we go through the trial. I'll give you some exclusives.
Sheesh. Now, guys, she definitely didn't hold anything back. Already promised you guys an exclusive. And guys, we did it. We got one of Diddy's actual accusers on the channel. So I definitely hope y'all enjoyed this interview, man. Make sure y'all don't forget to drop those comments, share this video.
All right. So check out Lionel B. We will come back and do part 2 because we've been out here for 3 hours. But we will come out here and we'll do part 2. We'll also look at the video that the Tea Lounge said she was going to share with us. So we can do that tomorrow. Hopefully, yeah, tomorrow we should be able to do that tomorrow. And I also said I want to do a members only live. So welcome to all the new members. Thank you to everybody who gifted memberships, who sent super chats, all of you in the chat. Thank you to all of the moderators here that supported. I love all of y'all, especially those that hit the motherfucking like button. Yeah. So anyway, if you didn't, please hit the like button on the way out. All right, you guys. I love each and every one of you to pieces, and it ain't shit you can do about it. And if you cheat on me, I ain't gonna kill you. Okay? All right. Talk to y'all later. Smooches.